That's BOOST to 65555 or visit RevivMen'sHealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. RevivMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used in RevivMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan silver dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3967 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan silver dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3967.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Keep your business connected with Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi backup. Or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
At Shane Company, our engagement rings are the perfect blend of design, function, and beauty, each one a unique work of art. We meticulously craft our bridal jewelry in our jeweler's workshop to the highest standards, expertly setting each diamond by hand, ensuring the structure is perfectly balanced, and sizing everything for the perfect fit. Shane Company offers a free unmatched lifetime warranty because your engagement ring is an heirloom that was made to last. You'll cherish your ring today, tomorrow, and forever. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. So let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Jets beat the Texans last night in Thursday night football. Some injury updates for the Seahawks and Rams. According to Ian Rappaport, Puka Nacua, wide receiver for the Rams, who injured his knee in practice, wasn't able to do regular media availability, but Ian Rappaport says he should be okay. It's not considered to be major. Meanwhile, Mike McDonald on KIRO News Radio this morning says DK Metcalf with that knee injury, unfortunately a bit cloudy on what's going on that front. I know he's trying like heck to get out there as soon as he can, but we're still taking it day by day.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Taking your bold takes at 10:45, getting to a curious injury update from Mike McDonald at 10:30. Before we do, though, a couple things. We are going to start by talking about 3 keys to a Seahawks win over the Rams, but I need to issue a public apology. Bump, you know, there are times when I think, obviously, Bump knows more about football than me. I'm here to be, you know, adorable, hilarious, insightful, charming. You know, I'm not here to be X's and O's, per se. Well, I do have analysis. You know what I mean? But there are times when you'll say things and I'll think, you dummy. What are you talking about? So when we were previewing Jets-Texans for Thursday Night Football yesterday, and you said multiple times, look, the Texans do not have their weapons. That is an offensive line that's struggling. I don't think they're going to protect C.J. Stroud. The defense is fine, but I think that the Jets could really get one here. It feels like they're due. And I was like, okay, Bump. I think you're just being a little stubborn. I don't know what you're seeing here, but my football mind is telling me the Texans are running away with this. So anyways, I just wanted to start the show with a public apology.
That's very...
Bump, you were right. The Jets not only won, but it was not especially close.
It's very big of you, apologizing.
Thank you, I know.
Derek, if you're listening, how many times did she apologize to you? I'm going to say never.
Probably so many times. Wow. Yesterday. No.
Say never.
Yesterday I did, because I've been telling him for weeks that the person he's seeing at his gym that he thinks is Maura is not Maura. I'm like, that's not Maura. She doesn't even live near here. And then yesterday Maura was like, oh, I've been going there for weeks.
But you know what? This is what we do. We put ourselves out there.
Sure.
We're vulnerable. We make takes, and people tell us that we're wrong, and they never tell us when we're right. And I appreciate that. But, you know, it was this time. You really expected Aaron Rodgers to not take advantage of that situation over there with the Texans? It's almost like we're ignoring what's going on with the Texans.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud is not playing like C.J. Stroud, and he obviously doesn't have all of his weapons. And they're at home. It's prime time. They're wearing the black uniforms, and they perform, man. It was about time. So it's all good. I forgive you for laughing at me. And Eric Williams. We had him on yesterday. Who's he with? Fox Sports?
Yes.
Eric Williams of Fox Sports laughed at me when I say, man, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. You're going with the 40-year-old? Yeah, dog. 80s baby, stand up. All right, Aaron Rodgers. Good job last night. Thanks for making me look like I know what I'm talking about from time to time.
So anyways, the Jets got a badly needed win, snapped a 5-game losing streak. You know who else badly needs a win? The Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk about 3 keys to getting one against the Rams. Bump, what's your first?
All right, my first one, these are like, I'm not going to wow you with, I never thought of that. But when you look at these teams, you gotta start somewhere. And it's who will get after the quarterback the most. We know that Gino's been pressured. Seattle, the quarterback here in Seattle, Gino Smith, he's been hit 30 times this year. The Rams, 28 times. Matthew Stafford. Pressures. Seattle has experienced 76 pressures. The Rams, 62. Pretty comparable so far. Hurries. Seahawks, 25. Rams, 17. Sacks. Seattle's quarterback has been sacked 21 times. The Rams quarterback, Matthew Stafford, has been sacked 17 times. We know that Gino's like a sitting duck sometimes in that pocket. And they don't move the pocket very much. Yesterday, I recommended, if you're listening, maybe move that pocket once or twice throughout the game. And then we know Matthew Stafford isn't the most mobile quarterback either. He's getting older. He does get the football off in a timely manner. But hit the quarterback. Make life difficult. The quarterbacks are what make these teams go. Matthew Stafford has his weapons now. Sounds like Puka is going to play. The offense looks a bit different with Gino Smith. We're hoping that DK plays. It sounds like he might not play. You got to make that quarterback's life a living you-know-what. So my first key is simple. Hit the quarterback, sack the quarterback, pressure the quarterback, disrupt that rhythm, and you have a chance.
I really do feel like sometimes when you talk about a defense that's failing as a whole, you look at the entirety of the defense, it feels like the pass rush has been solid. Like, I love this key because I'm excited to see what they do if they do force 3rd and longs. You haven't gotten into a lot of pass rush scenarios. Like when you're facing 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 all the time, or not facing a 3rd down at all, you don't get to rush the passer in the same way.
Yeah, it's a different game. It's a different game when you become predictable,
right?
And the playbook isn't wide open. When the playbook is open, the defense has to take into account every little thing that you do. So, pressure the quarterback, get into some favorable down and distances, and get after it.
Well, I wish our next key could be wear black alternate uniforms like the Jets did to get that win over the Texans. I think there's magic in uniforms sometimes. Unfortunately, the Seahawks will not be able to do that because they don't have a black alternate. And you aren't wearing the throwbacks. So what's key number 2?
Key number 2. Kyron Williams has 533 yards and 8 touchdowns. Ken Walker has 315 yards and 6 touchdowns. I believe the Hawks still have the better running back. I do. Walker has 74 attempts on the year. 74 times he's been handed the football and said, run with it. Williams 139 times. There's a difference there, right? They're more explosive. The playbook is open. They're running the football. They're on time. Ken Walker has 5 runs of 20-plus yards, 4.3 per carry. Williams has 1 run of 20-plus yards, 3.8 yards per carry. Ken Walker has to look and feel like the better running back because I know that he is. Williams is a good running back. I'm not hating on Williams, 8 touchdowns. He can do his thing. But Ken Walker has to look like the better running back out there. If he does, that means that you're able to, again, open up the playbook and have variety when it comes to your play calling and keep the defense guessing. That defensive line for the Rams is good. The more I watch film, the more I buy into it. Dan Orlovsky put it on my radar at first. I'm like, Dan, you tripping. You just be saying stuff to get a reaction. But then
like
I go
with your
back.
Halloween candies, Dan.
Exactly.
Shut up.
Then I go back and I'm watching the film, and, yeah, those young guys on that D-line are pretty good. But you got to feel like Ken Walker's the man. Because out of those two, I will take Ken Walker every single day. The numbers are telling you that Kyron Williams is the better running back. He just has more than double the attempts that Ken Walker has. Yet Ken Walker has a better yards per carry, and he has more explosive runs. Let's get him going.
I would love to just see – this is the thing is I know that a part of the problem with establishing the run has been the situations you're in. You're not going to hand the ball off if, second, well, maybe you would at 2nd and 10. But point being, you get behind, you start getting in passing often situations. So I know that there's more than just, hey, draw up attempts for Ken Walker. That being said, I'd love to see them run early. If you are Ryan Grubb, Bump, do you call, let's say, 3 runs to start this game or a run to start this game? Just kind of get into your bag early.
First down, first play, I'm running the football. I don't care what they're in. I don't care if they stack the box. I don't care if they have 14 people in the box. Go throw a coach out there and somebody from the stands. Put 14 in the box.
Somebody from the
stands. I don't care. You run the damn
against the rules.
So, this guy named Brad is an eligible receiver.
You know what? I mean, shoot, they're going to have a bunch of fans in Lumen Field anyway, right? The Rams, because we're giving away tickets. Go ahead and grab one of the Rams fans and throw them out into the football field as well. Yeah, you run the football. I don't care. You run it. You run your split zone. That's what they've had the most success running with the tight end and then that little wing spot. Run the football the very first play.
Okay, what is your third key to a Seahawks win over the Rams?
Third key. These teams are similar in a lot of ways, and here's another way they're similar. They both have 5 interceptions and 3 fumbles recovered. Yet the Rams are even when it comes to turnover differential, and the Hawks are -4. So, again, win the takeover battle. It's not rocket science. It's not something that is going to just blow you away, these things that I'm looking at, but all these things are true, and they're similar when it comes to their quarterbacks getting hit and feeling pressure. When it comes to their run game, I think that you have the better running back in Ken Walker. He has less than half of the attempts, Kyron Williams has double the attempts of Ken Walker. It's crazy. They got one less game, but still, okay, take away 20 carries. You're still whooping them when it comes to the attempts. And then the takeaway, giveaway game. You have to create turnovers and protect the football. It's been a while since we looked at a game from the Seahawks and said, that was a clean game. I like the way that game was played. We haven't felt that in a while, so I need to feel it.
Okay, let's get to the Mac and Jack's text line, and then I have some sound for us to listen to from Leonard Williams. So we're going to go listener questions and a little bit of takeaways from Leonard on the defense. Wally from Snoqualmie. Oh, no, just kidding, Wally. Sorry, you sent in a comment. Another listener next to you, 206, said, I agree with you, Bump. The need to pressure Stafford is real, but he'll eat if we blitz too much, so we need to get home with 4.
That's fine, but you're going to sit back and not blitz this man at all? You got to roll the dice sometimes. I understand wanting to be safe. When have you looked at this defensive line and said, we're good just getting home with 4 most of the time? Now, it's going to happen most of the time because McDonald only blitzes like 13 to 14% of the time. But you got to roll the dice and take your chances. So now you don't blitz Matthew Stafford. And he's sitting back there patting the football, letting all these intricate route combinations develop, manipulating the safeties with his eyes because that's what he's great at, and he's going to pick you apart. Either way, when you play a good quarterback, you can blitz him, he's going to make some plays. You can sit back, he's going to make some plays. I understand wanting to be cautious, but you got to do what's right to win this football game. You got to show some pressure. You got to get home with 4. You got to do all of that. You got to have a variety type of game, a value pack, like those boxes of chips when they got the Cheetos, Doritos, the Lay's, and all that stuff.
We should do a show trip to Costco.
No, that's my nightmare.
Okay. Scott and Bonnie Lake. Bump K9. Move him to number 2. Move Charbonnet to 1 or swap back and forth. K9 can't and has shown us he's drafted too high. Fast, sure, but he's getting handled, and if he's bumped, he falls over. Charbonnet can push the pile, though. Go Cougs.
Did he have a name attached to his?
Scott.
Scotty.
He threw in the Go Cougs, though, at the end.
My man Scott. If you are watching film, no disrespect to Zach Charbonnet, and you think Zach Charbonnet is a better running back than K9 himself, let's link up and have some coffee and talk, and then let's talk some football, man. There are no coaches in this league, no professionals that say, you know what, K9 can't get it done. Let's put Zach Charbonnet in there. I think it's a nice 1-2 combo. I like Zach Charbonnet getting his touches. He has made some big runs, but there's a reason why Ken Walker has 5 runs of 20-plus yards. There's a reason why he has multiple touchdowns of 50-plus yards. We got to pay attention to that offensive line. The O-line isn't creating a lot for him. It's hard. This isn't recess. This isn't middle school where we used to play kill the carrier and you're just a better athlete than everybody and you're gone. This is the NFL. There are ballers out there. Scotty, come on, Scott. Go Cougs, though. Go Cougs.
I said I wanted to get to some Leonard Williams sound to wrap this up, so I want to know what you think about a few of these cuts. Leonard Williams was asked about the continued run defense struggles, and I actually thought there were some really insightful answers. Now, he's not going to tell us everything, right? And, pull back the curtain and explain everything that he thinks is going wrong. But even then, it was still pretty honest.
I think in times when you're trying to correct something for a few weeks in a row, there's a lot of competitors on this team, so there's guys who feel like, they want to put it on their shoulders, which is respectable. Everyone's competitors. They want to feel like they can be the guy to make the play. But I think in times like that, we end up trying to do other people's jobs, and that kind of affects the rest of the defense. So I think in these times, it's like goes back to that consistency of just consistently do your job, and eventually we'll all come together as 11.
So then he was asked, well, what's an example of someone maybe doing too much when they don't need to? And he said, well, I'll use myself.
Like, say my gap is the B gap, and I feel like they're zoning to the right but trying to cut back every time. So instead of me just staying in my B gap, because I feel like they've been running it on us, now I'm going to try to play the B gap and the A gap instead of just dominating the B gap. I'm not trying to do 2 things at once. And I think sometimes things like that start to happen once you kind of have the stress of things happening over and over. I think it's just more about us getting back to the basics, trusting our teammate that they're going to do their job, and everyone keep it rolling.
Bump, what do you think of Leonard's analysis of what he sees going on with this defense?
Leonard is a professional. He's a veteran. You see what he did there? I'm not going to throw anybody else under the bus. I'm going to give you an example of when I didn't do my job. Big ups to Leonard for not – I don't think they were trying to bait him into saying anything crazy about his teammates, but he easily could have pointed somebody else out. But he owned it himself, and I think he's absolutely right. All week, we've been saying they got to play on a string. They got to be in sync. They got to do your job. It's easy to want to try and make a play instead of doing what you're supposed to do. Just be where you're supposed to be. Why did Kobe Bryant get that interception a couple weeks ago? He was where you're supposed to be. You get a gift sometimes. Every now and then, right place, right time, you get a gift. If you're trying to do someone else's job, it compromises someone else's job, and that guy makes up for that, and then next guy tries to make up for his mistakes. It's a domino effect. Sometimes you got to take the L. If your job is the B gap and they do a great job of double teaming you and controlling that gap, so be it. You just occupied 1 or 2 players, and now you're going to allow that linebacker or whoever has the gap next to you to do his job. But running backs are good. If we played against a team and linebackers were scraping or flowing too hard and defensive linemen were going to different gaps, K9's going to see a cutback, and he's gone. What we've seen, though, are the defenses that the Hawks have been playing. They are disciplined. They're staying in their gaps. The linebackers are shoulders parallel. Eyes are in the backfield. They're playing disciplined football, so it's making it harder and harder for K9 to get loose, and then you compound that just with the play of the offensive line. I think that was a beautiful description of what's going wrong with this defense. Obviously, there's more things going on, but if you just do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be, plays are going to happen. Sometimes the big play is not making the play and just doing your job.
It's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino Sportsbook. We're taking your bold takes at 10:45. You can get those sent in at any point to the Mac and Jack's text line. Before then, 866-979-3776. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Jets ended their 5-game losing streak after beating the Texans on Thursday Night Football. What's the real headline?
Turning the season around starts now. The Jets are going for pick number 10 instead of 5.
Woo!
You can do it. Let's get to double digits, guys.
Hey, it's a new team. Put on new jerseys.
New team, new me.
You know, Devontae, I was watching that game, though, during Hawks Live last night, which Matt Nelson filled. You did a great job, Matt Nelson. Did your thing, man.
And you got to hang out with your best friend, Michael Bumpus.
Yes.
It was great.
It was great.
Such a fun ride.
Were you a police officer? Did I see a badge on yesterday?
I was an undercover Starfleet officer.
Oh,
It's
okay.
even worse and nerdier.
Okay.
Were you and Kayvon Wallace the only two to dress up, or were there people in the audience that had costumes?
There were actually a ton of costumes.
Good.
Yeah.
Just walking around the mall.
Yeah, it was chaos in that piece. It was chaos.
I love Kayvon being in full costume with a wig. He was Ron Weasley.
And he's a real good dude, man. Listen to that interview. He's a good dude.
I love it.
No, I was watching that game, and you can tell Devontae Adams is still trying to figure out this offense, too. There are times where Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the football, expecting him to convert a route, and he doesn't. Devontae Adams is blocking a DB during a pass play at times. They're still trying to figure some things out. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl or be contenders, but they can turn this season around, man, if they just keep at it.
Turn that frown upside down.
Upside down. They got the Cardinals.
Takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
There you go, Curtis.
You
I
guys,
love that.
you guys.
Okay, sorry.
You got the Cardinals, the Colts,
Big
and the
Friday
Seahawks
energy.
coming up. I think they can win these next 2 games, and then obviously you score off with the Seahawks. We'll see what happens there. They're not contenders, I don't think, but they were due for a win, and they got it done.
Your only choices to answer this question are yes or no. Ready?
Okay.
Only 2 choices.
All right.
Was Garrett Wilson's catch better than Odell Beckham Jr.'s catch?
No.
I didn't think so either.
I'll tell you why. Because Odell Beckham's catch, he's facing the football falling backwards. If you just reach your hand, everyone reach your hand up in the sky right now. He literally caught the ball with his thumb and his pointer finger. That's hard, right? So now turn your hand backwards like that. It's easier to catch a football that way. It just sticks and it stays there. I know this is great radio. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but
Matt, you should have moved the cameras up to track.
it works.
All right.
It works. Hand up straight and then turn that backhand. It's easier to catch a football on the backhand like that. It was a great catch, though.
That's the thing. It's like I'm immediately starting the question by taking away from Garrett's catch, which was like catch of the year candidate. Absolutely amazing feat of athleticism. But the conversation, because it's sports, immediately becomes, well, who was better, right? Sports fans are just naturally competitive people. Even if you don't play, you're naturally going to go into this sports talk mode of like, yeah, but was it Odell Beckham Jr.'s? And I agree with you. I think Odell still takes it.
Still the greatest catch I've seen.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2, Rams receiver Puka Nacua left Thursday's practice with a knee injury, but sources say it's not thought to be a serious injury. What's the real headline?
Did any source say it could be bad, though? Maybe?
Maybe one?
Yeah, maybe one. Did maybe one?
A lone actor?
Did maybe one source say, like, he's fine, he'll just miss a week?
He'll just miss a week.
He's just going to be out this time.
No, I expect him to play. It's going to be tough out there. You got some competition in the secondary. Trey Brown and Josh Jobe and Pritchett are going to compete for a spot. And you're going to need all hands on deck because Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, when they're healthy and together, one of the top duos in the game. Top 3 possibly. We saw Cooper Kupp win the Triple Crown a couple years ago. Puka Nacua have the best rookie season we've seen out of a wide receiver. Matthew Stafford, I read this stat yesterday, 8 for 8 throwing to the right side of the field, 12 for 17, 157 yards when targeting Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. It's going to be tough. They're going to get theirs. It's all about limiting the damage. And, you never wish ill on anybody. I hope Puka Nacua is okay. But if you got to ice it and sit a couple plays out, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I hope Puka's okay too, but I hope that Puka takes this opportunity to rest.
I hope that Sean McVay does a very unique injury designation and rules him out for this Sunday and then also Week 18.
Yeah.
But he's available for all the other games.
Love that.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, the number 22 ranked Cougs host Utah State, while mediocre Washington and even more mediocre USC face off at
You could just say
Husky
Washington,
Stadium.
USC.
What's the real headline?
I'm thinking this conference realignment thing isn't all it's cracked up to be.
You need to realign.
Realignment?
Realignment. It's tough, man, but we understand what's going on with UW. It's when your head coach leaves, who brought you a chance at the national championship, things are gonna happen. There's a restoration period that's going down. With USC, that's the surprising one to me because they should always be able to recruit. You're in Southern California, USC, you've won national championships. You have Heisman Trophy winners over there. I'm sure your collective has a lot of money sitting in it. It should be easier for USC to reload. That's the surprising one. UW, everyone knew this was going to happen. Give Fish a year or two to kind of figure some things out and hopefully get some money poured into this program, which baffles me. You have all the resources, UW, to be great, but for some reason you don't have the support that a lot of these other teams have. So hopefully going to the Big Ten, playing against these dominant programs, makes your alum look at themselves and say, all right, we have to contribute, because if you don't, it's going to be tough. Kids are getting paid. You got to have millions in your collective right now.
The joke I made, the real headline rewrite, was about conference realignment, just because it's fun to joke about and talk about, and I find the topic interesting. But that being said, Bump, what has actually had a greater impact on Washington being where it is right now? Conference realignment or Kalen DeBoer leaving?
It's DeBoer being gone.
Yeah.
If DeBoer was still there, his resume will recruit for himself. Like, look, I took this team to a national championship. I have a number 9 pick in the NFL draft. We got 3 receivers who were drafted. Now you start to go down that resume and say, look what I've done in such a short time. And also, I think the collective grows. If DeBoer was there, people might be more willing to invest and pay these kids, get these NILs going. It's definitely DeBoer leaving. But then you combine that with having to play in a conference with Ohio State and Michigan and all the big boys. It's all bad right now, but this is just the process of trying to get back to where you were when you don't have a history of doing that consistently. I know UW fans, you guys always talk about your tradition. You do have a great tradition, better than Washington State's, can't even front. But when big moves are made like this, you have to lean on that tradition. You have to get your alumni to buy into this thing, because you have what it takes to be up there with the big dogs, just not doing it right now.
Some good injury updates from Mike McDonald, but also one very curious one. That's next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
The thing the Seahawks are doing, Dave, you can vote on the top 50 players in Seahawks history, and then we're getting a chance to speak to a man who I'm going to guess is going to be unanimous.
I don't know how he got on the list. I mean,
he is Seahawks royalty, and Steve Largent is here. This would be a very cool honor as well, I would assume, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime people want to recognize you and your career after I've been out of football for about 30-some years or 40 years, whatever it is, that always makes you feel good.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. Our own craftsmen will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it off with a beautiful quartz countertop, all in about a week. Book now and we'll be able to schedule the installation of your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll receive an additional 15% up to $3,000 off. Call today and schedule a free in-home consultation where we'll bring a showroom to you. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com. That's heritagehomecraft.com.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a 5th-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. Forward, if you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
Eddie's!
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free spicy chicken sandwiches from Wendy's, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Oh no, your furnace died. Your hot water heater's leaking. Your drains are clogged. Your AC's blowing hot air. Inconveniences? No, they're emergencies. Don't fear. Call Deere Services. Visit DeereServices.net. Make an appointment and we'll be there within 3 hours or give you $100 credit. And get this, you will never pay a service fee. Bookmark DearServices.net because if you're a homeowner, it'll happen to you someday. Deere Services, there when you need us most.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
The Rams defense had their struggles early on this season, but are starting to heat up in recent weeks. Sean McVay says they've earned the right to rush the passer, and it's paid off with LA scoring defensively in each of their last 3 games. Seahawks offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb talked to the media yesterday about what the Rams do well defensively.
They do a good job of keeping things a lot of fronts. They're multiple in what they do up front. Their coverage scheme, they can keep it spread out as far as man zone indicators. They do a great job with that stuff. All the things that you would expect out of a good secondary. So I think they try to keep you guessing, so to speak. And I think they do a pretty good job of that.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to SeattleSports.com.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Keep your business connected with Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi backup. Or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
As part of the Mike McDonald preview, he has an interview with Steve Rabel on KIRO FM, our sister station, 97.3. And usually he just kind of previews the opponent and maybe, talks about where the team is culturally. It's always really insightful, but he had quite a few injury updates this time. This was the latest on DK Metcalf. As a reminder, on Wednesday, Mike McDonald said, we're optimistic. We've got to see DK practice and see what he looks like, but we're optimistic. So this is what he said this morning.
And so with DK, we're, again, I said it on Wednesday, and it's still, unfortunately, there's still a little bit cloudy on what's going on that front. I know he's trying like heck to get out there as soon as he can, but we're still taking it day by day right now with DK.
So we're taking it day by day. Still a little cloudy. Doesn't sound super optimistic to me.
He doesn't, because the knee, you can't mess around with the knee. That is a long-term type of thing. I know it's an MCL. There's other things that could happen to a knee that are worse, but you want DK for the long run. And then DK, man, he got to be selfish low-key too. This is his money year. You don't want to go out there and be damaged goods and at the end of the season be all banged up and have people questioning your health. Personally, he has to take it easy, and even for the team, you have to take it easy and really test that thing out. But you lose so much if you don't have DK out there.
Yeah.
I described the other day that it's like if someone were to walk in here with a weapon right now, everyone in this building is going to move a little different. Like, I don't know, that guy, he got a knife over there, man. He tripping. That's DK. DK is the knife on the field that everybody's watching. What is he going to do? What route is he running? I was looking at his charts on Next Gen, and every route that he ran, at least the ones that they charted, Next Gen be tripping sometimes with their charts. I'm like, man, how you got week 4, 5, 6, but missed 7, and now we're back on 8?
You know what I mean?
They be tripping.
Stand on business.
Come on now, be consistent. All right. But I look at his charts, and everything is 15, 20 yards down the field, and you need that threat. I was talking to our producer for Hawks Live last night, Nasser Chobe, and I said, a big-time receiver is a necessary evil because you're going to pay for it. And a receiver is not going to put you over the top and guarantee you win a championship. That's quarterback, offensive line, defensive line. But you need that threat because there are going to be times where that quarterback has to get back there, hit that back foot, and just let it go because you need to play right now. You need a run game. You got a nickel and dime. You're going to have your explosive plays. But how do you score the quickest? Tossing that thing in the air and being explosive. That's who DK is. And when you don't have DK out there, you lose the consistent perception of being able to have a big play at any moment.
It's a good way to describe it. Some good injury updates on George Fant Witherspoon. So let's get to Spoon.
Spoons look good. You know, we're taking care of him. He's on a good trajectory for Sunday. He's practiced in a limited fashion the last couple of days.
So again, he was a surprising add to the practice report this week, but sounds like he's on track to be fine. Practiced the last couple of days. That is great news against a team, an offense, Sean McVay's offense, that loves 11 personnel.
Man, people are on Spoon, and they're saying he's not having a great year. He hasn't had the big plays that he had last year. That doesn't mean he's not having a good year. He's solid. He's holding it down. He's missed a couple tackles. Everybody on defense this year in the NFL will miss a tackle. That's just how it goes. This is football. You got guys like K9 running the rock who are going to make you miss. You need Spoon out there, though. These type of games, I feel like, is where Spoon shines a bit, where it's a divisional game. It's a rivalry. Puka's back. Cooper Kupp is back. Matthew Stafford's playing well. He is a volcano. He is just waiting to erupt at any moment. He brings that type of intensity to this game. If Spoon isn't out there, you lose something, but I think that there's enough in that DB room to where these guys will be okay. But you want your dogs out there. I was surprised when Spoon was on the injury report, didn't hear anything about him, but that's football. Sometimes you wake up and something just doesn't feel right, and your body's responding to it. So, again, with Spoon, you got to take your time as well, but it's nice to hear that he's trending in the right direction.
The Seahawks, for pretty much the entirety of the season, have played with either their third or now fourth-string right tackle. Some encouraging updates on George Fant, though.
George had he's had a great week of practice. Excited about him. We'll kind of decide on how we're going to play out the right tackle spot, moving forward.
So again, Abe is the starter. That's not up for question. It's not a battle between George and Abe. The question is whether or not George can get back in time to start until Abe returns after the bye, meaning the entire thing that we're wondering is whether or not George Fant can play this Sunday. That would be amazing.
It would be. The great part about getting George Fant back is that he's a veteran, and veterans have thousands of snaps in this league and understand how to play a edge rusher who is going to bull rush you or has great hands. They just have counters, right? They've seen it all. So that's great having George Fant back. But you still have some guys that would back him up who have gotten some reps. You're just searching. You are searching for the right combination and for things to hit. And maybe the addition of George Fant could be that, because we have yet to see Ken Walker go for over 100 yards since week 1. It's been too long. That guy's too talented, but he can't do it by himself. It's not just the tackle. It's the guards. The center has had his day. Everyone on that offensive line has had their moments to where you scratch your head and you wonder if this is the right combination for this team. So why not throw George Fant in there and see what he can do?
Okay. Let's get to the non-injury updates. So what this is Mike McDonald answering questions about some of the things he said about the Rams and then about where the run defense is as a whole. Let's start with what he said about Sean McVay. He said Sean McVay attacks your structure. Rabel said, well, what do you mean by that?
They're great coordinators attack your rules and how you're built. and have ways to identify things rather than just running random plays. It's a systematic approach. So these guys, they definitely know who they are. It's not battleship football where you're just kind of picking and choosing random plays that you want. They're like, think of them as like targeted strikes, with a really sound, well-designed run game, where that everybody's on the same page. And so you have to kind of be able to defend both. And he's got the guy behind center that can kind of pull the whole operation off. So, that they make for a very formidable opponent.
Bump, I could know nothing about what any of that means. And if someone was like, yeah, Sean McVay attacks your structure, all I'd have to do is think about how Sean McVay, even in down years for the Rams or when they were injured, just got the best of Seattle each time. I'd go, yeah, that makes sense.
Sean McVay is the epitome of putting his guys in positions to have success. You hear coaches say that all the time. It's my job to put you in a position to succeed and have success. And when he means attack structure, here's an example. There's a reason why they do all the motioning and all that stuff pre-snap. And Julian Love, I'm sad we didn't have more time on him yesterday because we were about to go deep into X's and O's. And Julian Love described it. He goes, it's a game of leverage. And that motioning and shifting attacks your leverage. If the jet sweep is going to the right, and Sean McVay is anticipating that safety to roll down and now be responsible for the flat, what he's going to do is he's going to take you to the flat. He goes, all right, cool. I know when just this jet sweep goes by and that receiver goes to the flat, that safety is going to fly down there hard. There's some safeties who play it slow. Some safeties play it fast. What am I going to do? I'm going to run something right behind him. And Matthew Stafford's going to know. Motion, boom, I see that safety. I got a slant, a dig, or a curl right behind that. My eyes are going to take that safety to that flat. And I'm going to create space with my eyes, knowing I'm going to that slant, I'm going to that dig, I'm going to that curl. That's what he's talking about. He knows how players are coached to react to things. So he gives you what you want to see, and he knows how you're going to react, and then he attacks it.
No, I don't like that. That's not very nice. All right, let's just get to his last point here. He was asked about the run defense.
Yeah, this is the NFL, and especially in our division, you got to be able to stop the run. And I thought we've had a great week of practice, and so I'm excited about our mentality, the growth that we've shown on the practice field. Now it's time taking it to Sunday, especially at home, and try to get these guys, in some second and third and longer situations.
Mike McDonald is a first-year head coach for a team that was not expected to win a Super Bowl. By no means is he in the hot seat. However, people do eventually get tired of seeing the same problem over and over. Ultimately, one day you need to be able to show some steps forward with your run defense.
Yeah, 150 yards on the ground for what? Since week 4, I think they give it up.
I think every day of my life.
It's frustrating. In the gains that Mike McDonald sees on a week-to-week and day-to-day basis, the average fan is not going to see. He could see we're getting better at identifying runs and being having integrity with our gats, but the fans are looking and saying, bro, $150 on the ground every week. What exactly is this team getting better? So eventually you're going to have to see the numbers reflect his comments. Yeah. You're going to have to see, okay, only 100 this week, and Mike says they're getting better, so they are getting better, because then people start questioning your method and your madness and all that stuff. But it's getting better. It just needs to happen a bit quicker.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Get your takes, your bold predictions in for Seahawks Rams to the Mac and Jacks text line 866-979-3776.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Brady Henderson is in on a Friday. Look at that.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
Is this a must-win game again for the Seahawks?
Oh, no, but it's close. There's a chance that they could be in first place again. There's also a chance they could be in last place.
That clumping together of this division is maybe the thing that makes me feel most ridiculous about using the phrase must win, because nobody's running away with this thing.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 31st, get thrillifyingly fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and auto-pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Since the beginning in 2014, Nourishing Neighbors has raised over $36 million to help food banks and other hunger relief agencies in Washington. The Albertsons and Safeway Foundation would like to sincerely thank all the customers, employees, and partners over the past 10 years. Nourishing Neighbors continues to support initiatives including food for kids, grocery cards for the holidays, and innovation grants, so please keep donating and volunteering. Visit nourishingneighbors.com to learn more.
Hey, Riverside Roofing is back with us for yet another year, and we're so grateful for Don, Jordan, and Brandon for allowing us to tell their story. Local family business, excellent work, all rooted in trust. You can find them at riversideroofingllc.com, the roofing company you can trust.
I started Davis Law Group 30 years ago with the goal of bringing the highest quality of legal representation to accident victims. Contact Washington's best personal injury team today at 206-727-4000 or visit us at davislawgroupseattle.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
This is Stacey Rost. Is that leaky faucet driving you crazy? Don't wait until it becomes a flood. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. At Ben's Plumbing, they pride themselves on 5-star service, where your satisfaction is their priority. Whether it's a stubborn clog or a complete plumbing overhaul, their team of dedicated professionals is here to help with no commission sales tactics. Just honest, reliable service you can count on. Call today at 206-789-5353 or visit Ben's.plumbing. That's Ben's.plumbing.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
All right, guys, you're looking for a fun night out. It's Mike Salk here to remind you that Snoqualmie Casino is just the place to go, unwind, and have some fun and to eat some great food. Make sure to check out 12 Moons. And then Vista Prime Steaks and Seafood has the amazing happy hour menu that starts at 4 p.m. And Falls Buffet, they're serving up all your favorites like the prime rib every day, the fresh pasta, made-to-order stir-fry, noodles, pizza, salad bar, dessert bar. They make their pies every day. All with breathtaking views of the Snoqualmie Valley and Mount Si. It is Seattle's closest, only 30 minutes from downtown, Snoqualmie Casino. Please game responsibly.
Right now at Les Schwab, it's the deal you've been waiting for. The Score More sales event. Save up to $160 instantly on a wide selection of 4 tires and 4 wheels. Plus, every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just one more way you'll get more from less. Stop by the store or find your tires at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen, way easier and less expensive than a total tear-out. Book now, have your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll save an additional 15% up to $3,000 off your new kitchen. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
We get it about battery trouble being a bother. Nobody likes a dead battery in a dark parking lot in the rain. But if you have 15 minutes, then why don't you stop into Pacific Power Batteries for a free battery load test? Beats the heck out of being stranded. So if you have a minute this week, how about stopping in to one of our 7 stores for a quick test? It's free, we aren't predators, and chances are good that you'll leave us with one more thing checked off your to-do list. Pacific Power Batteries, family-owned and operated since 1985.
It's time for Bold Take Friday.
It's Bold Take Friday, so get those bold predictions into the Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. It's also a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino Sportsbook. But before I head to the text line, what is your bold take, your bold prediction for Seahawks-Rams on Sunday?
Bold Take Friday. Man, I got a few.
Okay. It is that day.
Is it Friday?
It is.
It's the end of the week, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's not the end of the week for you.
No, it's
kind of like a Wednesday. Every day is a Wednesday for Bump during the football season.
Except for Thursday. Don't forget.
Thursday's the best day of the week.
You guys,
and I got to see Matt on Thursday?
Honestly.
Oh, my gosh. It was great.
Of every take you've ever had on this show.
That was the best one.
Thursday being the best day of the week is the most wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's all perspective. Tomato, get him, got him, shoot him, shot him.
Okay, your bold take.
Okay. Bold take. My bold take is Gino is going to throw for under 30 attempts, but he's going to throw for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He's going to be on point. He don't have to throw it 500 times for him to have a Gino type of game. It's a mature bold take, you know? It's a mature bold.
That's an informed, responsible bold take is what that is. Curtis, your bold take for a Bold Take Friday before I jump to the Mac and Jack's text line. You guys can still get those sent in, by the way, 866-979-3776. Curtis?
My bold take is one that I don't know if people are necessarily looking at right now. Tyler Lockett has been pretty quiet this season by Tyler Lockett standards.
Yeah, sure.
That changes in a big way on Sunday. He gets 2 touchdowns and 150 receiving yards.
Ooh-wee.
Stop that right
and
now.
of those 150 receiving yards, he's going to break 2 tackles because he doesn't break tackles anymore.
That's a good one.
Oh, God, the 253. Thursdays and Twizzlers. I'm with you, Bump. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Bump said, did we just become best friends? Let's see. 206. Hawks fight hard, look more disciplined, get 2 turnovers, and look improved. Gino is sharp. They still fall to the Rams 27-24, 206. Come on.
Man.
Come on. No, Matt,
It's a
no.
Debbie
Matt,
Downer.
no.
We need that. Boom, 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 boom.
There you go.
Matthew.
Why were you so ready with
Matthew's
that?
on point. This is what happens when you hang out with me on Thursdays, Matt. You're locked in on a Friday.
Christian in the 206 says, Bold Take Friday, trademark. JSN 3 touchdowns. JSN.
If DK don't play, you need something like that. Like you need that performance like Curtis mentioned from Lockett, or you need that JSN.
Bold Take K9 gets three touchdowns.
What?
3 of them things.
You guys are getting reckless now. See, we played the disappointing trombone sound one time, and people are like, I can do better than that guy.
Is that a trombone for real?
It's something.
As I was saying, my son is
It's
learning.
able to slide.
I'm going to say it's a trombone.
My son's learning how to play the trombone, so I need him to learn that ASAP.
Bold Take. Hawks win. No, 4-2-5. Come on.
That's it?
Try. Let's see. 3 interceptions taken for 2 touchdowns. So 2 pick sixes?
I like that.
That's
I like
bold.
that.
That's exceptional.
Spoon, get one. Get these people off your back, Spoon. Let's go.
Now, this is the boldest take I've seen. Maybe this season. Bold Take Friday. 206, Seahawks first shutty of the season.
Ooh.
A JSN type of game, 80 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. That feels like a JSN day. Like, it's not going to be like 150.
Yeah.
But, like, suddenly it'll be like, wow, 2 touchdowns for JSN. What a good day for him.
JSN is like a red zone and third down type of guy right now.
Bold Take from the 360. Against this struggling offensive line, Aaron Donald doesn't record a sack. I think that could happen.
Aaron Donald is going to run out the tunnel with a helmet on
He's
and
like,
scare
I love
everybody.
Seahawks games. I had to come back for this one. Tyler Lockett has 5 slides for first downs, says the 206.
Leave him alone.
I know. Leave that man alone. Bold Take.
Business decisions.
Seahawks stuff the Rams' run game and get 5 tackles for loss. Let me tell you what. Bump. If you are not using strictly rushing yards, like if you allow 200 rushing yards or 180 rushing yards, that was a bad day against the run. But let's say they allow 120. You know what I mean? Just kind of like it was a solid day for the Rams, but it wasn't atrocious. what other measure are you using to be like, this was a good day against the run or a bad day? Would it be tackles for loss?
TFLs are yards per carry, because you can have a whole bunch of yards. You can have 120 yards, but you ran the ball 35 times, and you had to grind for that 120. So yards per carry.
Bold take. How about this one? I'm going to turn a bold take into a question. The Seahawks hold the Rams to less than 70 rushing yards, says the 509 Bump. If they do that, do they win?
Matthew can still go nuts in the pass game.
See, Puka and Cooper being healthy makes me nervous.
Both those dudes can have a $120 and a touchdown together. You know, it's the Rams can beat you in different ways. So I think you got to have a complete game.
Tall Tom in Ballard says, bold take, Stacy brings donuts for Bump and Curtis if JSN, Tyler Lockett, and Noah Fant all get one touchdown each.
Goodness gracious.
I'll do that. If JSN, Lockett, and Fant all get one touchdown, I will bring donuts.
Okay.
Because that's not happening.
That's very hard to do.
Bold take. Last one. Seahawks learned to run a screen properly. K9 scores twice on 2 huge screen plays.
Might be one of our boldest takes ever.
That might be.
Screenplays and the Seahawks
Screen game
do not go hand in hand.
It's not popping.
All right, let's keep our NFL preview going with NFL on Fox's Kenny Albert. He joins us next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
John Morosi is here. It's going to be a very, very interesting offseason on a number of levels.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, Teoscar and Santander will be a really good comparison, and I'm sure Santander maybe as a switch hitter in some respects may have a little bit more of a hitting profile in that regard, but I think Teoscar is probably a better defender. The Mariners might be a little bit more of a fit for Santander than Teoscar just based on the fact that they've already had him.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The holidays are here. Don't let your plumbing issues get the last word from your relatives visiting. Talk to the Hawk. When you need reliable septic, plumbing, and drain cleaning services, Flowhawks is there. Right now, mention KIRO and get $25 off any home septic service, $35 off any home drain cleaning service, and $45 off any home electrical troubleshooting or repair. Just mention KIRO. Flowhawks is the #1 name in septic and plumbing services. Talk to the Hawk. 1-800-FLOWHAWK or FlowHawks.com. That's 1-800-FLO-HAWK or FlowHawks.com.
Is chronic pain beginning to make your everyday life a challenge? Then call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, with Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. With over 30 years of experience, no one has more experience in pain medicine techniques and stem cell therapy than Dr. Nelson. And here's what a satisfied patient had to say.
I was experiencing severe neck pain, kind of radiating from my shoulders up into my head. And it was pretty severe, and it lasted for about a year. So I went to see Dr. Nelson, and after I got the stem cell treatment, I had positive results within a week, and it just got better from there. And to this day, I can't believe I used to be in such pain. He was just an incredible doctor. Everything about the place was just fantastic.
So don't let pain control your life. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD. Call 425-823-4000 today. That's 425-823-4000 or go to danielnelsonmd.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget, not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps, or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Ah, sounds like wipers. If your wipers are streaking, skipping, chattering, or even worse, loud, you need to visit AutoZone and get some fresh new blades. We've got basic wipers to get you back on the road, as well as premium blades from Bosch and Rain-X. So if you're hearing this, just head to your nearest AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Puka Nacua missed practice with a knee injury for the Rams, but NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says he's expected to be okay. Keep an eye on that one, though, heading into Sunday. An injury update for the Seahawks, meanwhile. On Wednesday, Mike McDonald said that DK Metcalf, it was optimistic he'd be able to return. Earlier today with Steve Rabel on our sister station, 97.3 KIRO FM, he said there's still a little cloudy on his status. Wait for an injury update later today around 2 p.m.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
NFL on Fox's Kenny Albert joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. This will be the 3rd Seahawks game Kenny's crew has called for this season. Also, Patriots and Falcons. Kenny, those are 2 Seahawks wins, so not to put a lot of this on your shoulders, but I'm kind of counting on you to carry the Seahawks to a win here on Sunday.
Well, it will be our 3rd look at the Seahawks, and you're absolutely right. They've won each of the first 2 games, so not sure how much of an effect we have on it from hundreds of feet away, but looking forward to the game this weekend.
Okay, thanks for joining us. How would you describe the viewing experience and your experience calling and watching the Seahawks team this year?
Well, like you guys said, they've won both games, so we've seen 2 of the 4 wins, and it's been fun to chat with the new head coach, Mike McDonald, and, always enjoy chatting with Gino Smith and Leonard Williams and some of the others, so getting to know Mike McDonald a little bit. We did meet with him once last year when we had a Ravens game in Baltimore, so we do all this research during the week and have the opportunity to talk to players and coaches. Right now we're in the middle of it with the Seahawks and the Rams. So always fun, to chat with those guys and to head up to Seattle. The last time we were there was right around New Year's last year for the Steelers game. And it's always such a terrific atmosphere, obviously, as you guys know.
Hey, even though they did beat the Patriots when you were on the crew for that game, as well as the Falcons, they still struggled against the run both times, over 180 on the ground allowed with the Patriots. And Kenny, as you know and you're well familiar with, the run defense is one of the main stories about the Seahawks heading into this one. What have you seen there? I mean, from either calling those two games or just, studying up once again on the Seahawks heading into this, what do you make of the run defense?
Right. I mean, they are ranked 29th against the run, and we've all, looked at some of those numbers throughout the season, and they're facing another terrific running back this week in KIRO Williams of the Rams, who rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, and he's a touchdown machine. He's reached the end zone now in 10 consecutive games, every game this season. But, I'll kind of leave that up to my partner, Jonathan Vilma, who's studying the film all week and was obviously a terrific player, a Pro Bowl linebacker. So, I'll probably defer to him on what exactly has taken place, considering that, he's an expert on defensive play, and he's been right in the thick of it.
Hey, Kenny, when you have these production meetings all year, you meet with coaches, you get to know them. When you talk to Mike McDonald and you compare his philosophy, his demeanor, just who he is as a head coach to the other great coaches in the NFL, what similarities do you see?
No, it's been a lot of fun in talking to him, and you could tell that he spent a lot of time with John Harbaugh. Sort of has a similar type personality, and he's obviously worked for both Harbaughs. Spent the year with Jim as well at Michigan as the defensive coordinator. But anybody who comes from that Ravens defense, you look at some of the coaches over the last 25, 30 years who've been in the Baltimore system. On the defensive side, Rex Ryan, Marvin Lewis, Mike Smith, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some others. But, having worked under John Harbaugh for 9 years, you could just sense how much he picked up from him. And, it's an interesting coaching matchup this week. It's two of the three youngest head coaches in the NFL. In Mike McDonald, a first-year head coach. Sean McVay has obviously had great success. It's his 8th year now. He's been to a couple of Super Bowls. He's won one. They're both in the state of Georgia, so there are some, similarities as far as their background. But it's been fun talking to Mike McDonald and learning from him and hearing his various thoughts about his club.
Hey, Kenny, feel free to step away from any Seattle games as an answer to this question. I'm just genuinely curious because you obviously have had a million pre-production meetings and conversations kind of, before these calls with players, quarterbacks, coaches. Is there any one story or a bit of insight that you just thought, oh, my God, like that's the coolest thing and it's sticking with me all day?
It's a great question because we have had so many of these production meetings through the years, and you get to know the personalities of the players and the coaches. You sort of learn what to ask, what not to ask. And one that always comes to mind is Bill Belichick, because when he was coaching, you knew that he really wasn't going to give you much about his team. So you had to come in with some other questions, just to keep him in the room and continue the conversation. And I learned quickly that if you get him going on historical stuff, he's great. For example, his father coached at Navy, and a young Bill Belichick was a ball boy, spent a lot of time around those teams. And one particular meeting, he went on for about a half an hour about the fact that everything he knows about football, he learned by spending that time with the 1964 team at the Naval Academy and Roger Staubach, and it was just fascinating stuff. And then just a couple of years ago, we had a Patriots-Lions game, and I asked Bill about his first coaching job in the NFL, which was as an assistant coach with the Detroit Lions. He had been an intern with the Baltimore Colts the year before, and then he went to Detroit, and I think his salary was $10,000 that season as the assistant special teams coach. But it was just fascinating to listen to his stories about how that Lions team was the first team to ever use two tight ends on the field at once. And, that led to a lot of the stuff that he did much later on in his career with two tight ends. And he would talk about his days with the New York Giants and Bill Parcells and Lawrence Taylor, who he has such a great reverence for. So, when I think back to some of those fun production meetings, a lot of it had to do with just learning about history from a Bill Belichick. Also, production meetings with Peyton Manning. You could tell he had a photographic memory. Sean McVay's the same way. They remember just about every play of every game that they've ever been involved in. It's incredible. We would go back and check, and 99.9% of what they told us and what they remembered actually happened. One time with Peyton Manning, we asked him about a certain play the Colts were running, and he compared it to a play from 5 or 6 years prior, and he brought up the exact week, the opponent, who was on the field. It was just incredible to listen to.
Kenny, you hear the word culture thrown around a lot, right? It's in team sports. And I think you have a good perspective of team's culture because you're in the facility, right? You're talking to the coaches, and you're around more than just the players and the coaches. The culture is like how they greet you at the front desk, the guys in the cafeteria. Being around the Seahawks as often as you've been, how would you describe the culture up there?
It's terrific, and I think, you look at the 14 years under Pete Carroll and the success that they had and the culture that he built, and, it's carried over. A lot of the staff members are still there under the new coaching staff regime, the front office folks, and you made a great point about it's the entire building. It's the folks in the cafeteria, the people at the front desk, and the Seahawks have a beautiful facility right on the water, and always a treat to spend some time there. But I think when you look at what Pete Carroll and the entire front office have built, it's one of the top organizations in the NFL for sure.
You guys can pick up a copy of Kenny's autobiography, A Mike for All Seasons. If you guys are big book gift givers, as I am for the holidays, that's a good one to give out, absolutely. I am going to turn to that very quickly, though, Kenny, because you have called and do call currently the 4 major leagues. You've also called Olympic Games. And with that, obviously, comes watching incredible moments in history. I feel like I'm going to be asking you to pick a favorite child here, and I'm so sorry for this impossible question, but is there a moment where you just thought, I know I'm watching history, and maybe it holds a special place in your heart?
Well, it's a great question, and there's certainly more than one, and I write about many of them in the book, and thanks for the plug. It was really such a fun project to be involved in. I can go on and talk about NFL playoff games that I called, Stanley Cup Finals, the Bautista home run and bat flip, Olympics. But, one that I have to include in that list is actually when I was in a behind-the-scenes role, handling research and statistics. I had a front row seat to all the Dream Team games in '92 in Barcelona. So I think even though that's one that I wasn't on the call for, I was right there in the front row. I was at the game when Cal Ripken broke the record, not in a working capacity. I mentioned the Olympics, calling some gold medal hockey games on both the men's and women's side. There are also so many moments in NFL games throughout the last 31 years, not just specific games, but for example, when Terrell Owens stomped on the Cowboys star after scoring a touchdown with San Francisco, I was on the call for that one. I was there for the crazy lateral interception 2 years ago, the Raiders-Patriots game. Jonathan Billman and I were on that call out in Las Vegas. So it's a great question. I've been very fortunate to witness many of those events. The ones I mentioned are just some of them, and mention many others in my book.
Your versatility is crazy, man. You mentioned you've called so many different sports, and as Seattle's gained a hockey team here, obviously we're getting more into hockey, and I've gone to some games. I talked to my buddies who are hockey players, and I would imagine it is so hard to call that game because of the pace and the names that are involved in that game. What's the toughest sport to call for you?
I get that question a lot, and to be honest, for me, hockey's the easiest, maybe because I've done it for so long. You're just in the flow. You're calling the action, the puck's in action for 60 minutes, and it's just a continuous call. I get asked about the names and the fact that they change on the fly, the line changes while the game's going on. But to me, it's actually the easiest. Basketball's similar. It's a continuous flow for 48 minutes. Football is the most rhythmic. It's one play, and then it's 20 or 25 seconds. Another play, 20 or 25 seconds. Of the 4, baseball to me is probably the most challenging because of all the downtime between pitches and batters, although that's changed a lot the last 2 years with the introduction of the pitch clock. So that's not quite the case anymore. I've had the opportunity to do many other sports, boxing, and then at the Olympics, I've done some track and field and volleyball and water polo. The one sport that I really felt like I had no clue, and I only did it once, and it was about 30 years ago, and I studied and I watched prior tapes and spoke to a lot of experts. It was college wrestling. I was assigned to it once, and it was the one sport that, as we were on the air, luckily I had a great partner with me, a great analyst, because I really felt like I had no idea what I was watching.
That's where you just lean on the classics of, he's got a real chip on his shoulder, this guy. He's really giving it his all.
I was like the traffic cop. I give the names, the records, the background, what town they were from, and once the action started, I got out of the way and let my color analyst chime in.
Okay, so related, it's like we're obviously very familiar with your work. So when you have guys that have been doing this for a long while and they're pros, like you can't imagine them messing up. But like I have to ask, right? Has there ever been a moment where in the moment it might have been embarrassing, but now you kind of tell the story and it's funny? It could have been like on a call or maybe in a meeting, kind of like putting your foot in your mouth and just having a weird, embarrassing moment.
Everybody strives for the perfect broadcast, but obviously you are going to make mistakes. Sometimes you can make light of it. I remember getting the hiccups in L.A. during a hockey game, and we have the cough button in front of us, which we can hit if we have to cough or sneeze or clear our throat or whatever. But during this one particular hockey game in L.A., you never know when the next hiccup is coming, so I would try to anticipate and reach for the cough button. So that's probably the one that comes to mind. There's so much preparation that goes into it, and there's a lot of work and travel, but it's just so much fun to be able to do something you love. This week, for example, a 3-sport week, I had a hockey game in L.A. on Wednesday night for TNT, basketball game, Knicks and Pistons tonight in Detroit, and then heading out to Seattle for the game on Sunday. And I even went to the World Series as a fan with my daughter on Monday. So I guess I hit all 4 sports this week, even though I wasn't working the baseball game.
Kenny, you're from New York, correct?
From New York, live in New Jersey, but not too far outside New York.
Are you a Yankees fan?
I mean, growing up, I rooted for both the Mets and Yankees. They never really played each other. I was sort of a front runner, rooted for the Yankees in the late 70s and then the Mets in 86, in the mid 80s when they won. So, obviously as a professional, working all the sports are a lot more neutral. But as a kid, I was both a Yankees and a Mets fan.
Awesome. I was gonna talk a little crap, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm a Dodger fan. I was hoping, Kenny, you would say diehard Yankee, but you're
I'll
a pro.
tell you what, it was cool witnessing the reaction. I was working the Kings Golden Knights game in LA on Wednesday, and they kept putting the Game 5 of the World Series up on the scoreboard during the breaks, and between the second and third period is when the Dodgers won and clinched the World Series. And the crowd reaction at the arena, Crypto.com arena, the former Staples Center, the crowd obviously went wild. They had the game up on the board. So it was, interesting to watch that while working a game in Los Angeles.
Again, that autobiography we were talking about from Kenny is called A Mic for All Seasons. And again, it's going to be the 3rd Seahawks game Kenny's crew has called this season. Other 2 wins. No pressure, Kenny. No pressure. We look forward to tuning in, though. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Have a good one. All right. Again, it's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino Sportsbook. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Before I jump into 1st Down here, in A Mic for All Seasons, Kenny, it's an autobiography. So he talked about growing up in a family full of broadcasters. Like, it's what he wanted to do. Is that how you felt when you were little? Like, did little Michael Bumpus ever want to be like a vet?
A vet?
Or were you like, I'm a wide receiver?
No, I was going to be
a football player.
A football player from the first time I can remember watching
You and Kenny
football.
both.
Yeah.
You just knew exactly. Like, this is what I want to do, and I am 6 years old, and this is my plan.
This is why I'm here.
See, I changed my mind too much. I watched The Mummy one time in like 99, and I was like, I am going to be an Egyptologist.
Egyptologist.
Okay, 1st Down. Why do you think at this point in the season there shouldn't be any quarterbacks in consideration for the Heisman Trophy?
No quarterbacks this year. no quarterbacks. The Heisman Trophy is slowly turning into the best quarterback, like the MVP in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's what it's turning into. The Heisman Trophy goes to the best football player. And you have two young men who are clearly the best football players out there. You got Genty at Boise State. You got Travis Hunter in Colorado. No one, I don't think we'll ever see someone do what Travis Hunter's doing. He's playing over 150 plays, not 150, I'm gassing him up, 120 plays a game. He's been the offensive player of the week before, defensive player of the week before. He is an all-around football player. And then we go over to Genty. Running the football is the essence of football on offense. When I was in Canada, Canadians claimed that they taught us football.
Excuse
and
me?
that the reason why there's 11 guys on the football field was because one of their guys was sick and hung over from the day before. It's like an old folk tale.
This is what Canadians were telling
this is
you?
what they
Get
told me
out.
up in Canada. It's like an old folk tale. It gets bigger and bigger every year.
And then you guys got worse at it?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then we took over. But it's essentially running the football is just football at its purest form. I mean, it's a mix of rugby. When you look at all the old football films back in the day, the running back was the center of a football team. So when you talk about the best football players, man, you got to start getting away from these quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are the most exciting in college football. You got Cam Ward doing some great things with the University of Miami. You got the kid from Oregon doing great things. But they aren't the best football players. They're the best quarterbacks and the more exciting players because the football's in their hand at all times. So this year, let's focus on Hunter. Let's focus on Genty. Those two are the best football players in the country right now.
Second down. What can the Seahawks do to show more discipline?
There's a stat you can look at, and I think it directly shows you a disciplined team, and that is just penalties. Last week, they had 11 penalties. So far this year, they're averaging 8 penalties per game. That's good enough for top 3 in the NFL. They're the third most penalized team in the game. Last week, they had 11. The last 3, they're averaging a little over 8. You just got to clean these games up. And it's the timing of the penalties. There was a drive last week where they got 3 penalties in one drive and just kept pushing them back. You gain 10, you push back 5. You gain 5, you push back 10. It jacks up the rhythm of the game, and it makes people look at this football team as an undisciplined team. And I think you can say that. When you are the third most penalized team in the game, there are some discipline issues. Not saying that they're not listening to their coaches or they're just doing their own thing, but you have to be so careful with your technique, especially when you're in the trenches. These referees are always looking to throw flags because hands are on shoulder pads and not tight inside. They got to clean that stuff up. If they can put together 3, 4, 5, 6 drives without a penalty, then I think that's showing that they're locked into their technique and they're showing more discipline. You have to see that against a team like the Rams. You give Sean McVay second and short, first and short, goodness gracious, he's looking at shots. The playbook is wide open. He can do whatever he wants to do. So you got to become more disciplined. If you can cut it down and have like 5 or 6 penalties this game instead of 11, 12 like last game, you're showing that you're paying attention to details and you're cleaning some things up.
Third down. You're going to set the text line on fire with this one. You're crazy for this one, B. Would you want the Seahawks to trade for Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson?
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Stop that.
Okay? My man is completing 44% of his passes.
Not good.
He is behind Joe Flacco over there. How long is Joe Flacco going to be the guy? Is this a temporary thing to where you're going to let him sit for this year, bring him back next year, and then let him try this whole thing again? Who knows? It's all about what it would take. They're going to ask for a first or second round if the Hawks really were to go after Anthony Richardson. They're not going to go after Anthony Richardson. Let me put that out there. They are not going to do it. But I look at this situation here in Seattle. It'd be perfect for Anthony. You're going to sit behind a guy who was thrown away by the Jets. Nobody wanted him to play anymore. He's not good enough in this league. He sits, he's patient, he learns the game, and now he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the game. Anthony Richardson is clearly more athletic than Gino Smith, but Gino has something that Anthony doesn't. He has just the mental toughness and years upon years of watching great quarterbacks operate and do their thing. That's why he's able to maximize the talent that he does have. It's not going to happen. But a pipe dream, Anthony Richardson sitting for the Seahawks for a year or two, letting Gino continue his contract and teach this young man how to be a pro in this league. That's what he needs. And he might get it with the Colts. But I could imagine him in a Seahawks uniform on the sidelines just chilling for a little bit.
He seems like the type of quarterback that Pete Carroll would have really wanted, like athletic, tons of upside, still some question marks, but trying to make it work. I still see, am I wrong for seeing Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young, both in the same draft, obviously, picks 1 and 4, as being in different situations, even though both are currently benched?
Yeah, they are, because Anthony Richardson has physical talents.
Yeah.
When you are Bryce Young, you're 5'9", you have to be the smartest guy out there. You have to be so efficient. Anthony Richardson just brings a dynamic to the table that physically Bryce Young just doesn't have. Bryce Young is probably a smarter quarterback. He's been groomed for this. He went to Bama. He learned behind Tua and Jalen, and Nick Saban has showed him guidance. But when you are a big man like Anthony Richardson and can throw the ball 70 yards, you can take off and have a big play at any moment. Bryce Young doesn't bring that to the table.
4th down. Anything stand out to you from our conversation with Kenny Albert?
Yeah. So I call games, not this weekend, the following weekend. I'll be in the Bay Area doing studio stuff this weekend. The following weekend, I'm doing the Oregon State game. And the hardest games to call are the ones with a whole bunch of ooses out there, the polys. Those names are so difficult.
Yeah.
And I asked Kenny, I said, man, what's the hardest game to call and why is it hockey? He goes, it's not hockey. Because those names are crazy. And the fact that he's able to stay in the flow, and there's about 3 or 4 different lines in hockey. You got all these Eastern European names, and he's able to spit it out so smoothly is just impressive to me. When I have to call a game and I know we're playing with a whole bunch of polys on the team, I'm in the mirror the night before practicing. Like, come on, I cannot mess this kid's name up. Like, it's his family, it's his legacy. You want to give that kid the respect that he deserves and pronounce his name correctly. So I thought that was impressive. He's an OG in the game. He goes, look, man, hockey. And them Eastern European names don't scare me. They scare the heck out of me.
That's a good way to do it, though, and a great way to look at it, because it is okay to be like, how do you pronounce your last name? Or to, like, it's not like morally wrong to be like, I'm struggling with that name. But the intention and real effort to correctly pronounce someone's surname, because it is so important to family, so important to that person, is such the right way. It's
just respect, man.
It's pure respect. Like, don't be like, I don't know this name. No, like, put effort, man. All right, it's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino Sportsbook. Garrett Wilson's touchdown broke the internet, and as you might expect, sports radio callers in New York are having a tough time after this one bump. You're going to like this. That's next.
The Seahawks have a chance to get back on track as Sean McVay's Rams head to town.
It's Joe, goes the other way. Josh Allen coughs it up for the first time this season.
At the halfway point of the season, the NFC West is still up for grabs.
Turns upfield, first down. Not more. That is what we've been waiting for out of Ken Walker.
Hawks, Rams, kickoff 125, pregame coverage starting at 10 on your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
Right now at Les Schwab, it's the deal you've been waiting for. The Score More sales event. Save up to $160 instantly on a wide selection of 4 tires and 4 wheels. Plus, every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just one more way you'll get more from less. Stop by the store or find your tires at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
I was unable to walk for 3 months. The insurance company was very excited to talk to me and wanted to make sure that I had up to $5,000. My attorney quickly told me, they need to talk to us because there wasn't any amount of compensation that would make up for what I experienced. The Davis Law Group really helped me out.
For top quality fencing, trust Contour Fence, locally owned and operated since 1984. For residential or commercial, visit contourfence.com. Use code HAWKS10 for 10% off repairs or replacements and schedule a free consultation today. That's contourfence.com.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Cantor Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Cantor Diamond, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach, combined with direct importing.
When you choose Cantor Diamond, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's at KANTOR Diamond.
Don't fall, just call Seattle Holiday Lights. We'll hang them up, we'll take them down, we'll do it right. So call Seattle Holiday Lights. Seattle Holiday Lights.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
Seahawks Insider, brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
We've heard a lot about how execution and discipline are the issues with some of the Seahawks' struggles to defend the run. It seems so simple to say everyone needs to just do their job. And while defensive tackle Leonard Williams is confident they can fix this, he explains how easy it is to fall into the trap of doing too much, even as a 9-year vet.
Like, say my gap is the B gap, and I feel like they're zoning to the right, but trying to cut back every time. So instead of me just staying in my B gap, because I feel like they've been running it on us, now I'm going to try to play the B gap and the A gap instead of just dominating the B gap. I'm now trying to do two things at once. And I think sometimes things like that start to happen once you kind of have the stress of things happening over and over. You know, I think it's just more about us getting back to the basics, trusting our teammate that they're going to do their job, and everyone keep it rolling.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to SeattleSports.com.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700.
Febreze. So my home is also my office, and before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la. Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Congratulations to the Jets. They're leading off the timeline. That's really what I'm congratulating them for. But they also snapped a 5-game losing streak. Garrett Wilson's touchdown broke the internet.
4-man rush. Rodgers to the end zone. And Wilson, can he one-handed and stay in bounds? A catch for the ages.
Yeah, he's going to go for the 50. The only chance would be the knee if it came down. He has the ball. What a catch.
When I think first round, wide receiver, star player, playmaker, that's the kind of play I imagine in my head. It was absolutely amazing. If you didn't already see it, and that was like, you just weren't paying attention to the game, you were busy, please, at the very least, go look up Garrett Wilson's touchdown.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it live because we're doing Hawks live, and I'm looking at X, and it's blowing up, and I go, what the heck's going on? So when it was all said and done, I go and check it out, and I see the young man, Garrett Wilson, with the catch of the year so far. And, yeah, that's what you think about. But it also made me think about George Pickens, which everyone else is talking about as well. He had a catch last week. Catches the football, gets the right foot down, hops again, gets the right foot down again. Technically 2 feet in, but the same foot twice. Mm-hmm. And I looked at that and I go, that should be a touchdown. But then you look at this one, he gets his knee and shin down, and the rule says that is a catch. I'm looking at George Pickens, and I think to myself, that should be a catch too, because technically 2 of them things, the same thing twice, got in.
That's all I'm saying.
There should be a 2-hop rule.
We need to make the shin rule and also the hop rule. We need to
shin rule, hop rule. The shin rule makes complete sense because you are down. You are clearly in if you're getting your shin, your knee down. The 2-hop is up for debate. Yeah. I think as a receiver, of course, I'm going to want the 2-hop, hop, boom, he's in. But Garrett Wilson, that's a great catch. I still think Odell Beckham has the better catch, but that was filthy. And I love what Devontae Adams said after the game. He goes, you might have to give up Adidas because that looked like a Jordan catch right there.
This was Devontae with bars.
I don't know. I told him he might get kicked from Adidas after that one. that one looked like he headed over to Jumpman with me. So we're going to see. I'm going to talk to some people about that one. But they might. I ain't going to say they're going to replace the logo, but because I know Mike might not like me saying that. But that was a hard catch. And I really just seen it about 3 minutes ago, too. So, yeah, I heard a lot about it, though. But that's G, man. I've seen, like, even in walkthroughs, we throwing the ball back. Somebody catch the ball, they run in the end zone. You throw it, we start playing catches, we going back, and he'll do stuff like that. So it's not too surprising, but being able to do that in front of 80,000 and, maybe millions or hundreds of thousands watching at home, that's special.
Whoa.
Look,
ain't no 80,000 at that stadium, but I get you.
Let me say this. Adidas has no choice but to respond.
What are they going to do? They have to do something.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to do something.
If someone says, I know that this is an Adidas guy, but that catch was way too cool. He looked more like Jordan. You can't let that sit there. You need a commercial. You need your PR team on this. You need to pull your best athletes together. You need to come up with some kind of slogan or some kind of campaign that makes it very clear. No. Like, we can be very, very cool. I'm just saying, from a brand perspective, Devontae Adams is disrespecting you to your face.
I think
checks over stripes.
I imagine just the play happening in slow motion in their voice. Garrett Wilson. And it's just, we got to brainstorm, and you and I are going to come up with our own slogan for this and get this done because that is a moment. Adidas has to jump on this. They should be, where are they? They're in, where's their headquarters? In Germany somewhere, right?
I don't even know, but that's part of the problem.
The U.S. headquarters are in
Portland,
Oregon
right?
As well.
Yeah,
I am a Nike person over Adidas for sure.
If Adidas headquarters, Portland, y'all shouldn't have slept last night. You should be up all night trying to figure out how do we market the heck out of this. That's a great moment. He's been balling, too. He had 9 for 90, 2 touchdowns last night. Game before, 5 for 113. 2 weeks before, 8 for 107, 13 for 101. My man is in the zone right now.
Next up, you're going to like this one. As you might expect, sports radio callers in New York are having a really tough time with the Yankees after their loss in the World Series to the Dodgers, including this one to a WFAN fan who wants nothing to do anymore with Aaron Judge.
All this talk over the all morning has been about how Garrett Cole didn't cover first base. This entire World Series comes down to Aaron Judge. He didn't hit, and in the game he did hit, he drops a routine fly ball that any little leaguer would have caught. He's a disgrace to the Yankee uniform. He should be stripped of his captaincy, and as far as I'm concerned, you could trade him to the Mets.
I'm sorry. That is a top-tier sports radio call.
A bit aggressive. Have you been to a Little League game?
No.
They drop baseballs all the time in Little League.
Yeah.
So calm down there. Aaron Judge, 322 batting average, 458 on base, 701 slugging, 1100 OPS, 10.8 WAR. Sir, I understand you are upset. I understand that my Dodgers got y'all in your house. Y'all brought out Fat Joe. I'd be embarrassed too. But Aaron Judge is one of the, if not the best hitter in the game right now. If you are smart, you apologize immediately. You do everything you can to make sure they lock down Juan Soto. And yes, Garrett Cole should have been running to first base. I don't know what the heck he was doing. And yes, Aaron Judge should have caught that baseball. And yes, he didn't play well in the playoffs. You wouldn't be there without Aaron Judge, man.
Right. Well,
Come
that's
on
the
now.
normal, rational response is you are not in a World Series without the seasons that Aaron Judge and Juan Soto had. And he had not had an error until that game. And it just so happened that Aaron Judge did not have a good World Series.
I bet you that dude, if I threw him a baseball right now and I threw it 100 feet in the air, he ain't catching that thing. He ain't catching it.
No, absolutely not.
Nah.
That dude, that caller,
Yeah.
absolutely not, unless it's a meatball.
But I do love his accent.
Gabagool.
And I do love his passion.
Next story here. Paul Feinbaum is not feeling the start of the Kalen DeBoer era.
The DeBoer transition was seamless outside of the first day or two when he lost a couple of players. And he just hasn't – he's a good coach, but I don't think he's commanded the stage very well. I've been to Alabama twice in about 2 weeks now, and there's a level of impatience with him. And, some of it's natural. It's post-Saban, but his demeanor on the sidelines bugs people. His lack of discipline, some of the things that he says and does, his coaching staff has not worn well. But having said all that, it's really going to come down to next week. And I'm not trying to say, well, this would be a better question in 2 weeks. But, should he lose to LSU, that game will determine what we say about him in the offseason. I am not that impressed so far. How about that?
Bump, when we had Stanford Steve on, we asked him, hey, Kalen DeBoer has been the subject of much controversy in Alabama, and they've had some bad losses. How are you losing to Vandy? Everyone understands how serious that is. However, is it the byproduct of Kalen DeBoer not being made to coach in the SEC, or is it the roster he inherited? And he said, honestly, I think it's a little bit of the roster.
I got family down south.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. I go down there to visit. Well, I used to a bit more often when I was younger. And going down there, it was always cool to visit. I love my family. The culture is different. I couldn't see myself living there full time. And it's not because I don't like the people. It's just that we are just so different. We grew up different. We talk different. We value different things. I respect how they grow up and how they do things. But for me, being a West Coast guy, it's just different. So it does not surprise me that Feinbaum is saying that it might not just be a good fit. He might be too West Coast. He might be too laxed over there. And the way they've done things for so long at Alabama and had success, I could see where bringing that type of guy in kind of shakes things up a little bit, because you go from the most disciplined, fiery head coach that we've seen to maybe a more chill type of dude, and it might rub people the wrong way. My family down south make fun of me all the time about the way I talk, the way I dress, the way I move. It's just different. So I could see that being an issue. I think he's a good coach. I think he knows the X's and O's, obviously, but sometimes it's not a good fit. If he loses to LSU, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
And LSU's ranked, right? Are they still?
They were 13 at one point.
Okay, so maybe they're done. IRG Injury Report brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. This is from Thursday's practice. Non-participants, that's really what you're watching. DK Metcalf, nose tackle Cam Young, tight end Noah Fant, fellow nose tackle Jonathan Hankins. It was a rest day for him, and linebacker Tyrell Dodson, though. An update on Puka Nacua from Sean McVay via Sarah Barshop. Sean McVay says, fortunately, there's nothing structurally wrong with Nacua. He'll be listed as questionable, but I wouldn't bet against this guy. My expectation is he's going to do everything in his power to be ready to roll, and that's the mindset we have. Sounds like a game time decision kind of thing. Should the Seahawks be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? One ESPN analyst weighs in next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
We've got Stacey Rost here from the Bump and Stacey Show.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
Can you win the majority of your final games? Can you show improvement? Can you end the season with momentum?
Yeah,
That's
Mike
all
McDonald said yesterday that this is, he's trying to look at this almost like a new start.
Yeah.
Fresh start today or Sunday. Okay. Well, if you do that, you got to do better than 500 probably moving forward.
Absolutely.
Which is what you're asking for.
Don't miss an hour of the show. Find the podcast at seattlesports.com.
Welcome to IRG Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, and our guest, Dr. Grant Garcia, orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist at Proliance Surgeons, orthopedic specialists of Seattle.
Dr. Garcia, MCL sprains, what are they?
So MCL sprains, you can have 3 grades, 1, 2, and 3. It's the ligament on the outside of the knee. So yeah, we treat them various ways based off the grade of the sprain.
Generally speaking, just talk about the grades real quick. Grade 1 is minor, grade 3 is severe. What about treatment?
Treatment, usually we do about 2 weeks per grade. Even if a grade 3 happens, we've had players have this before, they can still get back without surgery. It's about 2 weeks, like I said, per grade. So 6 weeks on a grade 3.
How are they generally diagnosed? Obviously, there's a mechanism of injury, but what do you have in your toolbox to diagnose these injuries, MCL sprains?
So first on the field, you got to see it pretty quickly. You can examine it, and then you can do MRI to evaluate as well.
And this is when the knee is pushed to the inside, what we call valgus stress, tears those ligamentous fibers. If it is a grade 3, is there ever any opportunity or time that has to have surgical intervention?
Occasionally, if it tears off, there's the proximal, that's the higher part, and the distal, that's off the tibia. If you tear off distally, it depends on the athlete, if there's anything associated with it, we will consider fixing those sometimes. But that's more of a controversial topic.
There you go. Everything you need to know about the MCL ligament and sprain or injuries. Dr. Garcia, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
If you'd like to get in touch with Dr. Grant Garcia at Orthopedic Specialist of Seattle in Ballard and Wallingford, visit orthopedicspecialistofseattle.com. That's orthopedicspecialistofseattle.com.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
Hey, Riverside Roofing is back with us for yet another year, and we're so grateful for Don, Jordan, and Brandon for allowing us to tell their story. Local family business, excellent work, all rooted in trust. You can find them at riversideroofingllc.com, the roofing company you can trust.
It's the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS today or donate online at carsforkids.com. Remember, that's cars with a K, carsforkids.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555 or visit revivemenshealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Are you interested in investing in real estate in the greater Seattle market, but don't want to manage properties, develop real estate, or sign on debt? Hi, it's Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital, based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 15 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Find out why over 800 local investors have invested over $200 million in our Legacy family of funds. Legacy Northwest Fund returned over 12% 12% in both 2007 and 2008. Are you looking at diversification opportunities, especially with what's happening in the market this year? Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on the average return of LOF1, LOF2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
Hey diamond lovers, Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget, not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps, or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We had some listener questions submitted on X.com. We're going to get to those in 15 minutes. So this is unrelated to those, though we are leading off with a question. Should the Seahawks be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? ESPN analyst Bill Barnwell weighed in. His verdict is no, the Seahawks should stay put at the deadline. He starts with, who are the Seahawks exactly? After beating the Broncos, Patriots, and Dolphins to begin the season, they've gone 1-4 while being outscored by 35 points total. It's one thing to get blown out by the Bills and 49ers. And really, Bill, did you need to bring this up? But Seattle allowed the visiting Giants to rack up 420 net yards and 24 first downs in a loss. Seahawks couldn't get out of their own way. So he points out some of the bad habits that we've picked up, like being one of the most pass-happy teams, which has boosted Gino Smith's numbers, but obviously it's because we're not running the ball. So then he says, ultimately, this is a team just figuring out who they are. This is a team that, needs to focus on getting better maybe in the offseason. He said, I'd be surprised if the Seahawks did much more before the deadline, in addition to the 2 moves they've made, given that their playoff odds have dropped to 17.2%.
When you are a seller, you're saying we have no chance. Like we're looking down the line for the future for next year. We're not really focused on this year. When you look at these guys in the division, they're still in the fight. They're not a team that is just lost and are playing for absolutely nothing. You are still playing for the division, so you should be buyers. And I think that when you look at the depth chart, there are pieces on this team, offensively and defensively, who will be staples for the next 2 or 3 years. Offense, Ken Walker, DK, JSN, offensive line, obviously Abe Lucas, Charles Cross. Those are the for sures. I know these guys are going to be here next year, and throw Gino in there too. Gino's going to be here. Defensively, Leonard Williams, Derek Hall, Ernest, Reek, Boye, Love, Witherspoon. There are too many pieces on offense and defense that are here to stay that you could build off of for you to say, oh, man, I don't know if we just have enough. You don't have enough to be NFC Conference champions. You don't have enough to do that. You do have enough to win the division, to compete for the division. And why? Because teams are struggling all throughout your neighborhood. So I look at this team, and I think there's enough for them to try to get better and not try to have addition by subtraction and look at the 2025 draft, 2026 draft. Nah, you go out there, and if there's a piece out there that you think can elevate you, you go out there and do that. Because if this team just plays well, if they just play a little better than what they're playing right now, if they have gap integrity, if they don't try to two-gap like Leonard Williams described, instead of just dominating the B and trying to play the A at the same time. If they just do what they're told to do consistently, they're going to win some ball games. Now you got to wait for everyone else to see what they do. You got to see how healthy are the Niners going to be. Can the Bucks slip up on the Niners this week and hand them an L? Or can the Bills do to the Niners what they did to you? There's too many things that can happen to help you out for you to sit there and say, all right, man, let's really start planning for the future.
425, they've already been buyers. I agree, 425. Bump, Curtis, and I were all saying when we read this earlier, well, they're already kind of put themselves in that category, even if they're small moves. By virtue of not dealing players or acquiring picks and sending picks away, you've already become a buyer. We agree with you. But I think what Bill Barnwell's saying is like, they shouldn't do anything else. And his thing is the primary focus for the Seahawks shouldn't be on doing what they can to win. It should be on evaluating their current roster. My response to that, like yours, Bump, would be agree. Don't mortgage the future for anything. However, you should already have somewhat of an understanding of your current roster. And two things can be true. One, your division is still up for grabs. Doesn't mean you're a great team, but it's the truth. And two, you could still do some of the moves that you've already made, which is to add someone you plan to extend or to add someone that can help you. The draft doesn't have to be the only way you add to your team. No. Free agency doesn't have to be the only way you add to your team. John Schneider has added really important pieces. Carlos Dunlap, Quandre Diggs, Dwayne Brown as part of midseason trades. None of those pieces helped Seattle get to a Super Bowl that season. Not a single one. But all of them ended up being important in Seattle's efforts to be more competitive in future seasons.
Quandre Diggs was a great move. I can't believe.
For a fifth-round pick, I think.
Yeah, from the Lions. The Lions was tripping. That's where.
I think that was a Matt Patricia season.
That's where John Schneider. This is where John Schneider has to shine. Now you got information now. You got some data. You got 8 weeks of watching this football succeed and fail. You got 8 weeks of evaluating your starters, your twos, your practice squad, everybody. You got 8 weeks to talk to Mike McDonald and ask the questions. How were you so successful in Baltimore? What type of players do you need? How far away do you think we are from that? You got 8 weeks of the coaching staff learning Mike McDonald's system. It's a steady walk, man. It's a steady walk. It's that walk after dinner when you're talking with your significant other and you're planning the week. That's my wife, too. We go for a walk. We plan the week. We talk about things. This is what you've been doing. So how close are you to being the team that you plan to be in a couple of years? That's the question you ask right now. But then you look around and you say, well, we're not who we want to be in a few years. But right now, this team is good enough to compete in the division. And that's your focus. Forget everything else that's going on around. Forget the AFC, forget the NFC North, South, whatever. You focus on what's going on in your division, and you ask yourself realistically, what do we need to really compete? Because right now, you are in the fight. So heck no, don't be no sellers. You go buy, get you a couple pieces, but most importantly, coach guys up and get these guys ready for the stretch here.
Some questions about Gino Smith will lead off our Seahawks Q&A, where listeners and fans submitted their biggest Seahawks questions at the halfway point of the season. That's coming up next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
The thing the Seahawks are doing, Dave, you can vote on the top 50 players in Seahawks history, and then we're getting a chance to speak to a man who I'm going to guess is going to be unanimous.
I don't know how he got on the list. I mean,
he is Seahawks royalty. Steve Largent is here. This would be a very cool honor as well, I would assume, right?
oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime people want to recognize you and your career after I've been out of football for about 30-some years or 40 years, whatever it is, that always makes you feel good.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Key here is employee satisfaction. There is no expectation for customer satisfaction if the people that work with us don't feel taken care of and supported and loved. I'm proud of the Lee Johnson Auto family. I'm proud of our stores. And I need everybody to share in that mindset, because it makes a better experience for the customer. It also makes it a better place to work. Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me. Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Ah, sounds like wipers. If your wipers are streaking, skipping, chattering, or even worse, loud, you need to visit AutoZone and get some fresh new blades. We've got basic wipers to get you back on the road, as well as premium blades from Bosch and Rain-X. So if you're hearing this, just head to your nearest AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Summer's over and you've had your fun, but now it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you that's possible. We want to be your teammate. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs. Just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and keep it off for the long term. We know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
I really appreciated how fast the program works. I lost 35 pounds in 8 weeks. I think I dropped 20 in just the first 3. It's pretty incredible. And in terms of the healthiness, yeah, it's real food that you're buying at the grocery store.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can start our program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Quick update on a Mariners roster move. The team has declined the 2025 club option for Jorge Polanco, and Luis Urias has elected free agency. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua missed practice this week with a knee injury, but head coach Sean McVay had a somewhat positive update for reporters via Sarah Barshop. Quote, fortunately, there's nothing structurally wrong. He'll be listed as questionable, but I wouldn't bet against this guy. My expectation is he's going to do everything in his power to be ready to roll, and that's the mindset we have. Inactives are released 90 minutes before kickoff.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. from the Quantum Fiber Studio
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Occasionally throughout the season, I write up a Seahawks Q&A. It's like a mailbag. You guys have seen this through several outlets. It's a super common way to just survey fans at certain points in the season and say, what's on your mind? Like, what's the biggest question you have about this team? So I sent out a post on x.com, got a couple questions. I answered 3 for seattlesports.com, and we are going to go over all of them here. So I'll start with this one, Bump. Let's see, at Bean2030 says, if Gino Smith is the solution and the answer, why is his career record a losing one?
It's losing. It's closer to 50%, right? I mean, it's probably a lose one, but it's close to 50, right? Why is it? Because this is a team sport, and you got to have some guys. Gino's not a Hall of Famer. There's only so many Hall of Famers out there. And I tried to go through some of the Hall of Famers and see what their records are, and typically they are winning records. But then I found one. And I hate even mentioning his name because I know this guy. And I'm looking at Warren Moon's record. He's 102 and 101, yet he's still a Hall of Famer. So why does a guy like Warren Moon have a close to 50% winning percentage? It's because he was in some jacked up situations. It's a team sport. So I think Gino isn't the talent that a Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. He's not that. He's not that. So he needs more support than those guys. You look at Dan Marino, one of the greatest to ever do it. He never sniffed a Super Bowl. He did sniff it actually a little bit, but
he didn't win one.
He did. Dan Marino did not win a Super Bowl.
Did not win.
Yeah, no. So it's an accumulation of things. He's not the Hall of Famer that the guys are that I just listed. And he's played for some jacked up teams. The Jets were not very good when he was over there. Then after that, you get labeled as just a backup for life, and you bounce around a little bit. You only play when the team isn't good or your starter gets hurt and you're thrown into this situation. He's got to own some of it because he didn't play well when he was with the Jets, for sure. But that's why, because it's a team sport. He's not a Hall of Famer. He didn't play well at times, and he wasn't surrounded by talent that will allow him to play at the level he's playing at right now.
I don't like wins, losses as a quarterback stat. I think that's a bad measurement of a quarterback talent. I do think it can tell the story of the teams a quarterback has been on and whether or not that quarterback has lifted up bad teams. So when you look at really, really, really bad quarterbacks, yeah, they're going to have horrible wins-loss records, but you're going to find other stuff, bad completion rates. You're going to find lots of interceptions and turnovers, bad decision-making. Like, you're going to find a lot of stats that I think paint a better picture. So if you are looking at Gino as he is good enough to win games with good pieces around him, then why would you ever look at wins and losses as indicative of that? Gino has been on a team for the last 2 seasons that has been 26th or worse in points allowed and yards allowed. They were 30th against the run in 2022. They were 31st in 2023. How is that a Gino thing? Like, what is Gino supposed to do about that? In fact, one of Gino's best games as a Seahawk came in a 3-touchdown, no interception performance, 139 passer rating against the Saints. Did he win that game, Bump? No, he did not win that game. The Seahawks did not win that game because that defense allowed over 200 rushing yards from the Saints. Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara both had 100-plus yard games. Now, Gino has made mistakes this season. You have 7 interceptions. You gotta do better. And I know that you can go back and look at all those
3
picks. Exactly. You can go back and look at all those picks and find context and important things. But I hate wins and losses as the definitive indicator of quarterback talent and whether or not a guy is good. You know who doesn't have a winning record as a quarterback? Justin Herbert. Does anyone in their right mind think Justin Herbert doesn't have talent? No, he's on horrible Chargers teams.
QB wins or losses is that's lazy to me.
It is.
I think you have to go watch film, break down the situation. Who's on his team, who's not on his team. What was the offensive line looking like? Who's this offensive coordinator? There are so many moving pieces when it comes to a football team that the easy way to evaluate a quarterback is to pull up his wins and losses. Granted, the great quarterbacks find ways to win. The great quarterbacks find things to win. We're not calling Gino a great quarterback. He's an above-average good quarterback, and if you give him enough, he can win some ball games. Great quarterbacks don't always win Super Bowls either, as we see. I just point out Dan Marino, a couple examples out there. But and then you have to have a team that's willing to invest in you, that believes in you. the Jets did not believe in Gino. They drafted him. They gave him a couple years. They didn't believe in him, and then they ship him off to wherever. Didn't invest. Didn't develop. His path was just a bit different. For a caliber of quarterback like Gino, wins and losses is the lazy way to try to evaluate him. If you are really evaluating Gino, look at his pass percentage when he's blitzed. Look at his pass percentage when he's pressured in the box. Look at how many game-winning drives that he has. Look at his precision throwing the football down the field. You got to dig deep. So don't be lazy and just look at the wins and losses and say, he's not a good quarterback. Sit down and watch film with your boy. I will break it down for you. Is he a great quarterback? We're not saying all that. But wins and losses for especially a guy like Gino, that's a lazy way to evaluate.
And again, if you are watching the defense Seattle has been rolling out over the last couple seasons, including this season, and you're saying, like, I think a younger, faster, more mobile quarterback would just fix this. I think that you need to expect more from your team. You need to expect more from the front office and more from the roster, because all putting a rookie quarterback on this team is going to do is lead to more interceptions.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, like, rookies typically do not have the season that C.J. Stroud did last year. They have seasons a little more akin to, I don't know, Josh Allen's first year, where you've got like 10 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. You know what I mean? It's a mixed bag. Like, rookies make mistakes. It's a big transition to go to the league. So do I wonder at times, man, they got to figure this out. You got a 34-year-old quarterback. Like, he's fine, but, like, you know, are you going to be able to find a guy that can carry your team for 10 years? You do look at the Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud and want that. But that is, Gino is not the problem this year.
Gino is like, in real life, he's like a 38, 39-year-old man with 3 kids and a wife. You better start looking for some life insurance. All right? You better. It's real. This is real. You need some life insurance, because you're getting to the age now where things can start happening to you. That's where Gino is. You know, I'm 38, 39. I got life insurance. I still feel like I'm in great shape. You got to start planning for the future, though. That's where Gino is in his career right now. So to expect him, he'll never be able to make up for the 8 years before this, where he played for a bad team, where he didn't get a lot of starts, where people looked at him as if he wasn't good enough to be in this league. He can't change that. What he can do now is work on himself and try to take this organization to the next level, and I think that he can. But you need some life insurance. Is that Sam Howell? Is that another guy in the draft in the next couple of years? Who knows? But you also have to surround him with enough pieces to be okay. I don't think Pat Mahomes is playing much better than he is with the Chiefs right now behind the Seahawks offensive line. I don't think so. I don't think Kirk Cousins is having the last couple weeks he had behind this offensive line, or the way they've been executing at least. You might have some pieces there that are good to go. Football is just such a team sport, man. It's like no other sport. I've never seen one person dominate a football game by himself. You can look at Pat Mahomes in the plays that he's made, in the moments that he's had. His team has been dominating this league for the last 4 or 5 seasons, but you look at every year, he's got a piece that is excellent. One year, it was the offensive line and the receivers. The next year, it's the defensive line and the linebackers and DBs. There's always something that propels a quarterback to that next level. You got to be great. You have to have the skill as that quarterback, but you're going to need some help somewhere down the line. You're not going to do it by yourself.
Next question, at Tim Takechi. How much patience will the front office show Mike McDonald this year? If they substantially regress as the season progresses, will he be in the hot seat?
They're going to show patience. It's his first year.
Yeah.
It's not he ain't come out the gates one and whatever. He's shown some promise. You've seen some progress, and it's up to Mike McDonald to get John Schneider and everyone else involved to believe in him, and I think that they do. If they didn't believe in him, you don't make this move for Harris. You don't make this move for Ernest. You don't try to make this team better. You kind of sit back and say, let's just get through this year, and you're one and done. I've only seen one and done one time, and that was with Jim Moore. No, I think he's going to have at least 2 or 3 years to try to figure this thing out. Just keep on progressing week by week. And it's easy. You're looking at the rushing yards, the 150, and you can say, hey, are they really progressing? I think that they are. I think they're closer than what people think. But like I said to start the show, the numbers got to start reflecting that pretty soon, though. You can't have Kyron Williams go for another $150 this week.
It is rare that teams have had a head coach for one season, moved on from that head coach, and then found someone and just struck gold. Because typically when teams have those one-and-done coaches or go through coaches frequently, there's a bigger organizational problem.
Yep.
Like you think of the Arizona Cardinals cycling through a couple coaches quickly, the Panthers cycling through a couple coaches. Typically, it's like a really impatient owner that does that. Bad owners do that. Or, sometimes you'll have someone come in and just genuinely not be a good coach, like Urban Meyer. But typically, brand new head coaches are inheriting some problems.
Yep.
There's a reason you're a new head coach. It's because someone else lost their job. So yeah, I think the rule of thumb should always be at least a year to figure it out, unless you are truly horrific.
There's a reason why the Jets aren't winning. They won last night. But you got a new head coach. They still lost 2 games after replacing the head coach,
and your
right?
defense is getting worse.
There's a reason why, like you mentioned, there's a reason why 7 WNBA teams are in search for new head coaches, because there are issues going on, issues that cannot be fixed overnight. It's a lot deeper than what people think, and there's so many processes and ways of doing things that you have to tighten up. That's why I'm excited for Mike McDonald. I'm excited for him this year. He's going to finish the year off, and I think these guys are going to compete for the division. We'll see what happens. But I'm excited when he can just be the head coach.
Yeah.
When he doesn't have to call the defense, when he doesn't have to teach everyone on the defensive side his scheme or whatnot, when he can just focus on talking to Raves twice a week, all right, going upstairs, getting with Schneider, and being the head coach of the team and not the head coach / DC. Some coaches can do it. And the reason why they can do it is because they've been in the game for a while and their processes are established. They have coaches who know their system in and out, and they can lean on them. Everyone's leaning on Mike McDonald right now, and I think we're starting to see that.
At K Scores, their question, so I take it no more trades coming or going before the deadline?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I hope so. Give me something.
You hope so?
I hope so.
I don't think they will. I just think midseason trade deadlines, it is far more common that a team makes 1 or 2. It is not common in the NFL to have at the trade deadline like 3, 4, 5 moves.
Yeah, it could go down. It could happen. If it did go down, the places that I would expect it to go down for them to add would be offensive line, but I think they're going to add internally, just with Fant getting healthy, Lucas getting healthy, and maybe some guards just stepping up and playing some good ball. In defensive line, honestly, I think everywhere else you got to get better from within and just coach them up and have them understand your system. I don't think everyone on the defensive side of the ball does not completely understand the system quite yet.
This one's actually, I cheated. This one's from the Mac and Jacks text line and not my Twitter account, but I thought it was a good question. Other than the lack of talent on the offensive line, or just other than the guys on the offensive line, what's the main reason the Seahawks can't run the ball? Prior seasons have more of a run game with Ken Walker than this year.
That's why, though. It ain't other than.
Yeah.
It's the big boys. It's them not executing, maybe them not being as talented as these guys thought they could be collectively, and just not getting to their spots. Technique, I mean, it is the offensive line. It is.
At Spanaway78, is Sam Howell taking any first-team reps? I question Gino's leadership skills.
Oh, this one really gets me going. Then
I've done my job.
Yes, you have. Great job. People questioning Gino's leadership skills off of a bad week. I've been married 15 years. You think I'm a perfect husband every single day? Like, I don't have my bad days where I might trip on my kids, I'll be a bit more short-tempered with them than I probably should be, or the wife and I not have conflicts. He's a human being. He's not going to be perfect. It's because you look at his past, his win-losses and stuff, and you label him as an unsuccessful quarterback. Now he doesn't have the leeway to do things that other quarterbacks do all the time. You know how many quarterbacks I've seen break tablets or curse out their teammates or get in conflicts with their coaches? I've seen all the greats do it. And you get them more leeway because they have one more game, so you don't amplify. But to make it seem like that's not a common thing amongst quarterbacks or athletes in general is crazy to me. I understand why you think that. It's because you look at Gino and you say he hasn't won enough. He doesn't deserve to do that. Gino has the respect of everybody in that locker room and everyone in that organization. And this is an emotional game. He's allowed to have himself a week where it don't look the greatest. So give him some leeway, man. Watch how he works this week. If it continues to be a problem week after week after week and he's throwing tantrums, then okay. But everyone's allowed a day or two to flip out.
For the record, I did appreciate Gino's responses in his press conference yesterday because he was obviously asked about it. Gino, you were flagged for throwing a ball at a defender's head. Hey, you were seen on the sideline after your interception looking distraught, looking very upset. You're an emotional guy. You wear your emotions on your sleeve. And he said, yes, I do. I do wear my emotions on my sleeve. I don't like losing. I take losses hard. But also said within that press conference, and I need to be better.
Yeah, he has to be more aware. He understands that. But he's also a human being with emotions. It happens all the time on a football field.
It's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino Sportsbook. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline 1, the Jets ended their 5-game losing streak after beating the Texans on Thursday Night Football last night. What's the real headline?
Turning the season around starts now. The Jets are going for pick number 10 instead of 5.
Jets.
Shoot for the stars.
Jets. Interesting. You brought over a 40-year-old veteran and thought he was going to save the day. You tried bringing the homies over the first year. They didn't save the day. Now you brought the best friend over, hoping he will save the day. It's going to be rough for these guys. There are 2 games coming up that they could and should win. You got the Cardinals and the Colts. If the Cardinals are able to beat the Jets, I'm going to start looking at them even more funny. The Cardinals are tricky to me. The Colts are in a particular place as well. You benched your 4th overall pick or 5th? What was he, 4th or 5th? Anyway, you bench your future quarterback and you're trying to kind of save the season with a veteran. So, Jets, you ain't going to the playoffs. You got to win about 7, 8 in a row. I don't see that happening, but they might do just enough to convince Aaron Rodgers to come back and try to get next year.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2, receiver Puka Nacua left Thursday's practice with a knee injury, but it's looking like he will play on Sunday. What's the real headline?
Yeah, I'm wondering if any source said he might not, though. Like, keep digging for those sources.
There's got to be one.
That's what I want to find. So this is from Sarah Barshop. She quoted, thank you, Sarah, for the transcription, Sean McVay. Sean McVay said, fortunately, there's nothing structurally wrong. He'll be listed as questionable, but I wouldn't bet against this guy. My expectation is he's going to do everything in his power to be ready to roll, and that's the mindset we have. Now, Bump, I would never, ever, ever root for injury for any player anywhere on any team. This does become a more difficult game with Puka there.
Yeah, that 1-2 combo is deadly with Puka and Cooper Kupp. It's crazy how just a couple of weeks, things change. We're talking about Cooper Kupp possibly being traded. We're talking about Matthew Stafford possibly being traded. But then you get the guys back together and that chemistry starts to flow a bit. And Sean McVay starts to imagine what this offense can be when healthy. You start to look at their defensive line, who I've highlighted plenty of times because they got some dudes on that line. And you're looking at the division and you're saying, we're still in this. Why are we going to be sellers if we are still in this? Everyone in the NFC West is having the same conversations. We're not as good as the rest of the NFC, but we're as good as the guys in our neighborhood. No one should be selling in the NFC. Everyone should be fighting to win the division. You win the division, you're in the playoffs.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, mediocre Washington, and even more mediocre
there's a little bit of vitriol in this
USC.
headline for you.
They face off at Husky Stadium tomorrow. What's the real headline?
You know, I'm thinking conference realignment isn't all it's cracked up to be. I don't like this anymore. It's not fun.
It was all good.
Yeah, I was going to
like
this new place, moving into a new house, packed up my bags, said goodbye to all my friends at school. See you later. And then I showed up in the Big Ten and said, wait a minute, where'd the rest of my team go?
You get homesick. Like, this is actually kind of far, guys.
I kind of miss this.
You know, this is tough.
I don't want a game against Indiana.
Just give UW some time. I think they can be fine. Will they be fine? I think so, but they can be fine because of the resources that they have. I think that UW can attract some top recruits. Obviously, you got to pay for these guys now. You're getting more exposure over there in the Big Ten. It started off rough. They weren't showing all your games, but you got to figure it out. Now you're good. Okay, got that cable box. You're good. If you thought UW was just going to bounce back from losing all those players, 30 guys transferring, from Michael Penix being gone, from DeBoer going to Bama, you weren't living in reality. It's hard to bounce back from anything like that. You'll never see 30 guys transfer out of Ohio State, out of Alabama. You just won't see that because they have a tradition of winning and winning at a high level in every single year. That's just not what UW has. So you're trying to build that. Unfortunately, UW has to realize that if you do have a couple of years like you had with DeBoer, that coach is probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because they don't feel like they can win consistently here for some reason.
Well, and so far they haven't been wrong. Like Washington has had great moments and highs and then valleys. And so this isn't like, Georgia wasn't always number one. They used to be 22 back in 2010. You're like, okay, that's different. Like there are destination schools and programs that hang on to those guys, and UW needs to make themselves one of those. Last 3 minutes, I have a few other responses from listeners on the Mac and Jack's text line. I'm going to introduce a couple different concepts here. First, we were talking about Gino Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question from a listener that said, if Gino Smith is the solution and the answer, why is his career record a losing one? So we talked about Gino, his ceiling, kind of what he needs to do for the team, what isn't his responsibility. The 206 says, Gino was a good backup, but that's it. You see him panicking when things aren't going right. That's not a sign of a good leader.
I've seen him panic twice. Not panic, but show frustration. This year, and then that 1 year in L.A. when Pete had to tell him to calm down. Remember when Pete gave him the signal with his chest, calm down. Other than that, I don't see him panicking, so I don't know where you're getting that from. He's played thousands of snaps. I've seen him panic, maybe not panic. I don't even call it panic. Be frustrated a couple times. He's not a freaking robot. What do you expect out of this dude?
My thing is always like, we got to live in reality and we got to have other answers. So if your take is Gino was a good backup, but that's it, then who do you want as a starter? Then what options does John Schneider have? Then what would you love to see the Seahawks do? Then what would Gino need to do to you to make him a better starter? Like, have answers for those questions, because I will absolutely get into a conversation about like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z from Gino. Like, I need more of that from him. I need him to throw less interceptions. I need Gino to be 10 years younger. I need, you know what I mean? Like, I need Gino to be more mobile behind this offensive line. Whatever it is you need, then come with that. But if you I think we should question if our assumptions about a player have stats that back those assumptions up. So if you think Gino's only a backup, what stat is backing that up?
I've never seen a backup complete 68% of his passes, to lead the league in yards, lead the league in attempts. Backups are just like placeholders. You put them there for a little bit, and you wait for the next guy or for your starter to get healthy. He's not playing like a backup. He's not playing like he's the best quarterback in the league or the top 4 or 5. No, but to call him a backup, that's insulting.
Gino has more games with multiple interceptions than he does with multiple touchdowns. Can we please stop?
Okay. He's throwing the ball the most. And if you watch, I'm giving Gino 3 interceptions. I'm giving him 3. I'll give him the one against the 49ers with Tyler Lockett. I'm giving him this past one where he threw to Ken Walker, and when he should have just thrown it in the dirt. And then I forget the last one that I was going to give him. I forgot which one it was.
The Lions, which was, you're not winning that game, but that was just blatantly a bad interception.
What are your expectations from Gino? I think that's where things get cloudy, because my expectations for Gino is what I described when it came to my bold take. 250 yards, 1 or 2 touchdowns, try to take care of the football, and everyone else around you has to play at a higher level for this team to win. My expectations for Gino is not to dominate a game. It's not to have even a Kirk Cousins performance when he threw for 500 yards the other week. I don't expect that from Gino. So I think some people's expectations aren't real. Gino's good for this situation. You clearly have to find somebody for the future because he is getting old. But I think that's where things get cloudy is what are your expectations for Gino?
Yeah. And again, this is where some NFL franchises, actually many NFL franchises, will find themselves. We have a guy who we can win with, but we don't know if he's the guy. He's certainly not like, the best quarterback in the NFL. So what do you do now? And that's where people differ. Some people might want to tank. Some people say
that's
tank
ridiculous.
And go get number 1. Some people might say make a big trade and go get a young guy. Some people might say start Sam Howell. You know what I mean? Like, it's quarterback will always be the most talked about, controversial, polarizing figure on a team. There's like 5 teams in the league that aren't going to have debates about their quarterback.
Yeah.
But right now the Seahawks aren't in that group. So welcome to the NFL. Welcome to having debates about how to fix your team and get to a Super Bowl when you have multiple problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so hard not to just focus on the trenches with this team right now. Let's talk about a few other teams though. Taking a look around the NFL next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Brady Henderson is in on a Friday. Look at that.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
Is this a must-win game again for the Seahawks?
No, but it's close. There's a chance that they could be in first place again. There's also a chance they could be in last place.
That clumping together of this division is maybe the thing that makes me feel most ridiculous about using the phrase must win, because nobody's running away with this thing.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Is chronic pain beginning to make your everyday life a challenge? Then call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, with Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. With over 30 years of experience, no one has more experience in pain medicine techniques and stem cell therapy than Dr. Nelson. And here's what a satisfied patient had to say.
I was experiencing severe neck pain, kind of radiating from my shoulders up into my head. And it was pretty severe, and it lasted for about a year. So I went to see Dr. Nelson, and after I got the stem cell treatment, I had positive results within a week, and it just got better from there. And to this day, I can't believe I used to be in such pain. He was just an incredible doctor. Everything about the place was just fantastic.
So don't let pain control your life. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD. Call 425-823-4000 today. That's 425-823-4000, or go to danielnelsonmd.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. While leaning over the fence, your neighbors said you could save money bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. Your neighbor leaned over a little too much and broke your fence. Dumb news. Somehow fence wood is more expensive than wood. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and to plant really tall shrubs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Bonneville, Seattle, and Seattle Sports are looking for organizations that regularly distribute information about employment opportunities to job applicants or have job applicants to refer. If your organization would like to receive notifications of job vacancies, please notify Human Resources at 1820 Eastlake Avenue East, Seattle, Washington 98102, or email us at seattlealljobs@bonneville.com or call 206-726-6902. Bonneville is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, guys, you looking for a fun night out? It's Mike Salk here to remind you that Snoqualmie Casino is just the place to go, unwind, have some fun, and to eat some great food. Make sure to check out 12 Moons. And then Vista Prime Steaks and Seafood has the amazing happy hour menu that starts at 4 p.m. And Falls Buffet, they're serving up all your favorites like prime rib every day, the fresh pasta, made-to-order stir-fry, noodles, pizza, salad bar, dessert bar. They make their pies every day. All with breathtaking views of the Snoqualmie Valley and Mount Si. It is Seattle's closest, only 30 minutes from downtown, Snoqualmie Casino. Please game responsibly.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe. Seahawks Insider, brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
The Rams defense had their struggles early on this season, but are starting to heat up in recent weeks. Sean McVay says they've earned the right to rush the passer, and it's paid off with LA scoring defensively in each of their last 3 games. Seahawks offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb talked to the media yesterday about what the Rams do well defensively.
They do a good job of keeping things a lot of fronts. They're multiple in what they do up front. Their coverage scheme, they can keep it spread out as far as man zone indicators. They do a great job with that stuff. All the things that you would expect of a good secondary. So I think they try to keep it. Keep you guessing, so to speak, and I think they do a pretty good job of that.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget, not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps. Or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Right now at Les Schwab, it's the deal you've been waiting for. The Score More sales event. Save up to $160 instantly on a wide selection of 4 tires and 4 wheels. Plus, every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just one more way you'll get more from less. Stop by the store or find your tires at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we're going to start with some potential rule changes, maybe. I mean, it may not be happening this year, but let's go ahead and get to it. Fox Rules analyst Dean Blandino thinks the NFL will consider making face mask calls reviewable. Wonder why? Oh, in the wake of the Vikings' Thursday night loss to the Rams in Week 8.
I think they're going to consider. I think the approach has always been with the competition committee, deal in objective fact, right? Let's not get into the subjectivity of holding, right? So we're just taking one person's judgment, the official's judgment, and replacing it with another person's judgment, a replay official. There's so much subjectivity to those types of calls. We saw what happened when they made pass interference reviewable. It didn't work. I don't think it's impossible to get into those subjective calls, but you have to have a consistent standard and you have to stick to that standard. Something like a face mask, though, to me, is less subjective.
I mean, Bump, maybe there's something, too, where they can have, I know people have called for a sky judge a million times or like just an ultimate authority figure, but I'm sorry, like that is a horrible way for the Vikings to end their drive, not only with a safety that should have been overruled, but with a face mask that was blatant in front of a ref and not called.
Especially late in the game, you got to look at as many scenarios as possible because you don't want something missed to have an influence or a big influence on a team winning or losing a ball game. No one really knows what would happen if they did call that face mask with Sam Darnold, but that's the thing. It's a close game. It's late. They need this drive, so you want to be as efficient as possible. I'm glad they're being active, proactive, and trying to do something about this because there are too many times where you see something go down, it's not reviewable, and then it's a talking point after the game. And then we're putting pressures on the referees. We're talking about the shield. Just clean the game up as much as you can.
Did you guys know not every NFL game has a pylon camera?
Curtis made me wear that today.
Yeah, the Bucs learned the hard way, too, in Week 8 after Antoine Winfield punched the ball out of Kyle Pitts' hand before the goal line, but it wasn't reviewed. Per awful announcing, the league, this blows my mind, the league has the technology for it, but the cameras aren't used in every game, not because of timing, or maybe they were slow to implement, or maybe just to communicate. No. It's a cost issue.
The NFL is going to make $20 billion this year.
Yeah.
Throw a couple milli over there and make sure you get them pylon cameras out there. There should be cameras on the pylon, the first down markers, wherever you are measuring or seeing if a ball crossed the line or getting a first down. Have as many cameras as possible. Make the referees' jobs that much easier. Stop being cheap, NFL. You're the most successful league in the world, Craig.
I cannot wrap my mind around the NFL ever having any kind of cost issue. This is the most profitable league in America.
Yes.
This is the most watched league in
Yes.
America. The most watched, like the 20 most viewed television programs, any program this year in this country will be NFL games.
Yeah.
There is so much money in this sport, it's gaudy. And you don't have money to put cameras on pilot. No, you're not allocating funds correctly to do that. Or you've just decided, like, we kind of like this idea, but we aren't really committed to it, so we don't want to waste money.
Why wouldn't you?
That's
Why
what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
you?
I
Clean the
think
game up.
it is weird. They do still have kind of archaic weird things they do, like whether it's like measuring down and distance.
Why is there
or
a chain
whatever.
gang out there?
I don't know.
Get those
I
guys
don't
out
know.
of there.
Well, and what's weird is you have trackers on players, like the ability to track players for advanced stats and metrics, but you don't track
Lazy.
the ball. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they
understand.
enjoy the human aspect of the game. If they came out and said that, I guess I could understand it, but we have too much technology not to be as efficient as possible.
I just cannot take the NFL saying we're just broke.
We ain't
Get
got it.
out. Lamar Jackson with back and knee issues has missed a couple of days at Ravens practice, but he was back today. This was again after missing Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know who doubted Lamar Jackson would play, but it was certainly a big topic of conversation. He could be a 3-time MVP this season. He's been playing like the best quarterback in football, or certainly one of them, and not being at practice is a big deal, but good news for Ravens fans.
Yeah, Lamar is playing at a crazy level right now, and no surprise that him having the best running back in the game right now, which I didn't think I was going to say this year. You know, Christian McCaffrey isn't playing. He's banged up. But I did not think Derrick Henry would go to the Baltimore Ravens and take another step. He's playing out of his mind right now. He's 30 years old, and with the way that Baltimore runs their offense, it's a perfect fit. Mr. Monk, OC, do not get to the playoffs and start switching things up. That's what got you in trouble last year. Then Lamar's taking all the heat because they're saying he can't win a playoff game. He's not calling the plays. And last year, Monk called a horrible game, and I'm sure he's beating himself up about it. But they look prime to really make a run at this thing and challenge the Chiefs.
Do you think people would ever get voter fatigue for MVP with Lamar Jackson?
No.
Because voter fatigue wasn't there, we were having a conversation about voter fatigue in the NBA.
Yeah, with freaking the Joker. Yeah, the Joker. I don't think you can with Lamar Jackson because of the way that he plays. It's exciting. The thing with the Joker is that it's not exciting. It's fundamentally sound. It's efficient. But with Lamar, man, he does some things where you just shake your head and say, how the heck did he do that?
Word of advice, next story here. Don't invite Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow to your Halloween party next year.
I'm not into celebrating something just to celebrate it, but like what exactly, I don't know exactly what we're celebrating there. Just like dress up to dress up, I don't know.
You're not a big dress up guy?
I'm not a big dress up guy. I've always been like anti dress code, like if somebody tells me I gotta wear something, I don't want to wear that. That's just always how I've been.
I'm gonna be real. Joe Burrow sounds like a wet blanket. I don't want Joe Burrow at any party.
First off, Joe, I guarantee you your parents have pictures of you dressing up for Halloween.
1,000%.
Also, Joe, I've seen you walk through the tunnels before your games. You like to dress up.
We've seen you on a runway, Joe.
You clearly like to dress up. Also, stop being a Debbie Downer, dog. I know at LSU, Halloweens were popping. Halloween is the greatest holiday in college of all time. I know it's popping out there. You know what he sounds like? Remember that quote from Will Smith's son? Can we talk about the economic stability of the world? When he's like,
what was he asked about?
He was asked about like what he talks about with his friends, and he gets annoyed because their topics
He
are
just
basic.
like wants to be like, I have an identity, okay?
Yeah, it's like, come on,
I
Joe.
care about bigger things.
Wait till you have kids, Joe. Joe, you have kids? You dressing up.
You know, an answer that you could give is just like, no, I'm not big on Halloween. Like, my favorite holiday is X, Y, and Z. Or like, to be totally honest, I hate dressing up for stuff. I hate costume parties.
Why do you dress up to dress up?
Yeah.
Wait till you have kids.
Why
man.
do people dress up? Because dressing up is fun, Joe. Because
Relax.
Halloween costumes and Halloween parties are fun.
Have
It
some
doesn't have
fun.
to be for you, but why do we even do this? What, like, as a society, we need to turn inward. You know why Joe is being sullen? Because Joe is balling and the Bengals aren't winning.
Yeah, he's salty.
Joe's salty
You know
right
what?
now.
You know what? I forgive you, Joe.
I know.
'cause you're balling and your team ain't winning.
It can't be easy. Well, no teams are winning a ton in the NFC West, but the Seahawks can fall into last place with a loss. So this fair question. In fact, earlier I was taking questions from listeners on X.com, and I saved this one for Bump because it was our favorite. Is Sunday a must-win for the Seahawks? That's next.
The Seahawks have a chance to get back on track as Sean McVay's Rams head to town.
It's Joe, goes the other way. Josh Allen coughs it up for the first time this season.
At the halfway point of the season, the NFC West is still up for grabs.
Turns upfield, first down, got more. That is what we've been waiting for out of Ken Walker.
Hawks, Rams, kickoff 1:25, pregame coverage starting at 10 on your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
Can't fix everything for everybody, but you can be there and listen and try to help with what you can. You're there to support them, and that's the best that you can do.
Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of the 380 people who consider Lee Johnson their home.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us. My wife and 3 kids in the house, there's always something wrong with somebody at all times. And if there isn't, then something's wrong. When you have 388 employees, there's never a day that everything is good everywhere. You have to be okay with that. You have to look at that as opportunities to gain a better relationship with people and help them through what they're going through.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Upgrade your furnace or heat pump with Home Comfort Alliance, and for a limited time, save up to $4,000 in combined rebates, or enjoy 12 months same as cash, no interest financing on a new Lennox system. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. With over 30 years of experience, Big Trees provides trees of all sizes for residential and commercial projects. Our 30-acre nursery features thousands of trees and hundreds of varieties that thrive in our Pacific Northwest climate. For hours, directions, and to see our wide selection of trees, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
In the wake of recent hurricanes, many families are struggling to rebuild their lives. But together, we can bring hope and help where it's needed most. Join Bonneville, Seattle in our Hope After the Hurricanes initiative. We're partnering with the American Red Cross to deliver vital relief to those affected. Your donation, no matter how small, helps provide food, shelter, and medical assistance to those in urgent need. Donate now and help bring hope back to hurricane victims. Visit mynorthwest.com for more information. Seahawks Player Spotlight.
Man, it felt good to go out there and be able to contribute.
Exclusive interviews with your favorite Seahawks.
You know, we got a genius as the head coach.
Every day with Wyman and Bob.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. Our own craftsmen will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it off with a beautiful quartz countertop, all in about a week. Book now and we'll be able to schedule the installation of your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll receive an additional 15% up to $3,000 off. Call today and schedule a free in-home consultation where we'll bring a showroom to you. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com. That's heritagehomecraft.com.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 31st, get Thrillifyingly fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and autopay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply, currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
So we began the noon hour bump by answering some questions from Seahawks fans on X.com, and I saved a question because I liked it so much and because I know you and I actually disagree. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce it here. From GTU Man Collins. 8 games in, season on the line this weekend. Do we win or lose, they ask. And then also, do we improve, or this is what we have for 2024? So there's 2 parts of this, and I'm focused on the first part. It's not about whether we win or lose. We've already made our game predictions. Is the season on the line this weekend? That's where I disagreed with the Seahawks fan here. I mean, this person says, look, season's on the line this weekend. Do we win or lose? And the first part of my answer was, I don't know that the season's on the line. I don't know that this is must-win for the Seahawks. You disagree with me, so let's get into it. Is this a must-win game for the Seahawks?
First off, free Young Thug. He's out. Second. Second, this is a must-win. We know how these 49er games go. Is there anybody listening right now that is sitting there saying, yep, we going to get them? I know there are people sitting here listening to say, yes, we can get them. But you're not sitting there saying, got him. It's a wrap. Chalk it up. But you're looking at the Rams and saying, this could be a game that you could win. You feel better about this one. I don't feel great about the Niners. I got to see something against the Rams. I'm looking at the Cardinals now and saying, what the heck is going on in Glendale? All right, Kyler Murray, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's playing some good football. They are winning ball games. Your goal, when you play any of your division opponents, you got to at least split these games. You got to split. So it starts with this one. You must win this one because you just got beat up by the Bills and you're trying to correct some things. It's only going to get harder after this week. You got to bye, recover, family, heal, all that stuff. But you know what these 49er games are like. If you lose this one and you lose the next one, you are sitting at what? 4-6.
Yep.
Let's look at the Cardinals. The Cardinals, their game's coming up. Who they got? Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, they got the Bears coming up, a game that they can win. The Jets, no one knows who the Jets are at this point.
Yeah.
You just beat the Texans, but they were down some. It's a must-win because I feel like everyone in this division is capable of going on a nice little run. So to me, it is a must-win. You get this done. If you don't win, there's some things that I need to see to make me feel better about the Niners. I need to see Williams contain. He cannot go for $150, or as a team, they can't go for $150. I need Stafford being hit consistently. We were talking about Boye Mafe off air, and we're like, man, it's been a while since he's gotten a sack, right? I need to see some progress in some areas. For me, it's a must-win, not only for the record, but for the mental game.
Yeah.
They got to feel like they can compete against good teams.
I think it's not a must-win. I don't think the season is over if you lose on Sunday. I'm going to start with that. I do not think the season is over if you lose to the Rams. In this division, if you lose to the Rams, you are, I think, a half game back. You're in 4th place in the NFC West. You have some ground to make up, but the NFC West is so concentrated to 500 right now that is a gap that you can overcome. This is not falling, 5 games behind or, losing your starting quarterback and just knowing your season is kind of done. This is still a division you can very much win. Now, that ignores all the context, right, about this team's talent gap between San Francisco, about San Francisco getting Christian McCaffrey back, about the Rams looking great against the Vikings because they got Puka Nacua back for the first time since week 1, and he had over 100 yards. So it ignores a lot of context. But I'm just saying, mathematically, is the season over? No. So therefore, I can't say that this is an absolute must-win.
You made it so clear.
Yeah.
Of course we're playing the Rams. I'm talking about you need to win this game because you got the Niners to follow in your next game, and no one is sitting here saying that you are going to beat the Niners is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Text line.
Who didn't get that?
I don't know. 2 people say, we're playing the Rams. Yes.
Someone thought that you'd been on air for a week straight and didn't know we were playing the Rams.
I guess it was just my analysis was too deep for them right now. I'm saying that you have to win this one because we all know what things are like against the 49ers.
Yeah.
You have to set yourself up for that 49er game.
Bump is
If you drop 2 in a row, you are in a bad place.
Yeah, Bump is making his case that, hey, you've got this upcoming game against the 49ers. It's one factor in why I'm saying this is a must-win against the Rams. I am saying that this division's so close that I do not think a loss ends your season.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. However, there are consequences to losing. It's not a season ending, but if you lose to the Rams, you will have lost 5 out of your last 6. That's gross.
That's why it's a must win. That's why the mental. There is a feeling in a facility and in a locker room when you lose 2 or 3 in a row. I've been in a locker room. We lost 4 or 5 of them things in a row.
You were on a bad season.
You stop believing. You start questioning everything.
Sure.
And we're talking about the development of this organization and this program under Mike McDonald. What keeps guys locked in or winning ball games or competing your tail off, man? That's why I say either you beat the Rams or you force them to play just a hell of a game, and it comes down to the wire, and you've locked down Williams. You've gotten after the quarterback. You're not just getting beat up like the Buffalo Bills did. We are wounded right now. This team is wounded. 31-10 stays. You're in the 5, inside the 5. 2 times you come out with 3 points. You turn the football over. You get an interception. You get no points off of that. They're in a fragile place right now. It's scary. You got to win this one.
I know. You know what it is? I am leaning way too much into how close the NFC West is, and I recognize that. But it's because I am so on board with do what you can to win a division at all costs. I'm getting into it on the text line right now with a listener who basically wants to tank. And they are not labeling it tanking. They're labeling it taking a step back, but I'm not entirely sure what that is supposed to be. And this is the reason that I push back against that so much. If you can ever find a way to win your division, you absolutely should. And so my eye is just on that.
Yeah.
My eye is just on the reality of the math and the standings in your division. It's so close.
You know what
This is a winnable NFC West. A loss would suck, but by no means does it end your season. You should always be focused on competition.
You are the data department, and I am the coach.
That's what it is.
You're
I'm
feeding me the
shoving
data.
My glasses up my nose.
You're saying, look, mathematically you're still in it, and I go, yeah, I understand the data, but I'm looking at my men in the eyes and saying we're gonna lose some guys if we don't get this ball game.
I know. That's exactly
but you
what it
need
is.
both departments.
You do, and I don't need glasses. I've always wanted them. You know
what I wanted when I was younger?
What?
A cast. I wanted a cast so bad.
I did too.
Wow, I've had both of those.
Well, yeah, you have them
so
now.
So jealous, Curtis.
No, seriously, Curtis, I want you to know, no disrespect, but I so badly wanted a cast when I was younger.
My culture's not your costume.
Because I always wanted glasses because I think they look really cool. And you two nerds back there, you look awesome with your glasses. You know what I mean? I've always wanted them. I went and got fake blue light glasses, and they're very obviously fake. And I can't pretend they're real. That's weird. And then when I was younger, when you get a cast at school, everyone signs it. The most popular kid in school. There was this kid that when I was in high school got hit by a car and he was fine, but he became the most popular kid in school for a week.
Because he got hit by a car.
He was fine.
What'd he break?
Nothing.
Really?
He was totally fine, but he got hit by a car, so it was it's high school, so your whole world is high school.
Yeah.
He became the most popular kid in school for the entire week. Everyone was talking about that kid.
Well, and see, if you get a cast as an adult, no one signs it.
Well, yeah, I missed my time.
Yeah.
Bump and I missed our time.
I'm good now. I don't need it now.
We don't want broken arms now,
now,
but when we recognize that when we were both younger, when you've never had a cast, you wanted that when you were little.
You did. I did.
You guys are really. I don't think you're.
Matthew, you ever have a cast?
Yes, but I didn't want attention.
That checks out.
Like that
checks out. I did wear my mom's carpal tunnel bracelet to get attention.
Wow. Oh,
when I was little.
no.
When I was little.
Were you the girl with the knee brace over the jeans?
No.
And the crutches?
No, I
Bring
just
crutches
wore.
to
It was like
school?
in 3rd or 4th grade, and I wore her carpal tunnel bracelet to school, and just. I have a sickness. Well, you guys are going to get the spotlight. Not me, not Bump, because you're calling in. You have an easy question. Can the Seahawks win the NFC West? Can the Seahawks win the NFC West? Be honest. 866-979-3776. Call now.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
We've got Stacey Rost here from the Bump and Stacey Show.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
Can you win the majority of your final games? Can you show improvement? Can you end the season with momentum?
Yeah,
That's
Mike
all
McDonald said yesterday that this is, he's trying to look at this almost like a new start.
Yeah.
A fresh start today or Sunday. Okay. Well, if you do that, you got to do better than 500 probably moving forward.
Absolutely.
Which is what you're asking for.
Don't miss an hour of the show. Find the podcast at seattlesports.com.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Hi, I'm Stuart Holmes, Elections Director for Washington State. Free, fair, and secure elections are the backbone of our democracy. No matter what's on the ballot, election officials work tirelessly to ensure every eligible voter's voice is heard. Regular integrity checks against federal and state databases ensure Washington's voter roll is clean and accurate. Check your voter registration at votewa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Secretary of State and aired in cooperation with the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything. Like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility. Huddle up, the food's done. Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices,
Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases. I've found that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
DK Metcalf is out for Seahawks Rams. He's one of 4 players already declared out. Here's the final injury report. In addition to Metcalf, Cam Young, Noah Fant, and Abe Lucas will not be playing in this one. Ernest Jones, new linebacker acquired last week, questionable with a neck injury.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. You know, it's so weird. You know, Pete Carroll is still revered, still loved in this area, despite not being coach anymore. Always compete. Always win. Win forever, Bob. It's literally what his book was called. He was always about competing.
Good book.
I am surprised how many people are looking at, yes, a struggling Seahawks team, but a very tight NFC West and saying, I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. I just don't even want to watch unless they're a Super Bowl team. Every team in the NFC West is like huddled around first place. Everyone's 4-4. Rams are a half game behind. Seahawks could easily lose to the Rams and be in last place. It would be a half game back of first. Like, I cannot stress that this division is so tight. Can the Seahawks win it? Do you think they can? 866-979-3776. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to disagree. Don't be afraid to call in and say exactly what you want to see them change. Or you can be like someone I was talking to on the text line. Thank you for listening, by the way. And say, no, I think they should tank. I think they should tank. I think they should go for pick number 5. I think they should get out of this thing. But either way, call in now, 866-979-3776. While you guys are calling, I'm going to throw to Bump for just 1 second because, Bump, I need your reaction. We have game status for a couple key players. DK Metcalf, after being told on Wednesday by Mike McDonald that they're a little optimistic that he can make it back, he's already declared out with that knee injury. He will not be playing against the Rams. What does Seattle lose with that one?
You lose speed. You lose size. You lose explosive plays. Even after a week of him not playing, he is now the second leading receiver when it comes to explosive plays in the NFL. Mooney just took that over with 12 plays over 20 yards.
Yeah.
You lose a threat. There are ways around it. I'm not saying that Gino is the reason why you win or the reason why you lose, but he allows you to call certain plays and stress the defense out in a certain way. there are ways around not having DK for sure. But, man, that's a big piece of offense.
I almost wonder if some people don't want the Seahawks to win the NFC West.
Why?
Because I think some people do want the Seahawks. I think some people feel like the Seahawks are a middling team, and they want them to be very bad so that they can get top picks. But I think that you're underestimating the hurt that can do to a culture.
Yeah, that's no way to live.
That's no way to go. Can the Hawks win the NFC West? 866-979-3776. Let's go to Nelson from Kent. Nelson, can the Seahawks win the NFC West?
No, I don't think they can. And that doesn't mean that I think that they should tank. That doesn't mean that I think Gino's not the answer. It just means that, like, I don't think their roster is quite good enough. They're, you know, for everyone, again, who wants to get on Gino, over the last 3 years, what quarterback is going to take a bottom 10 defense and a bottom 10 offensive line, not one or the other, both, and do much with it? It's what we've seen in the NFL. Turnover can happen pretty quick. So I think they can make a wild card. And as you saw last year with Tampa Bay, if you get in, depending on the right matchup, you can win a game. But, you watched C.J. Stroud last night take 8 sacks and fumble at the goal line. If Gino did that, people would be asking to put him in prison on Seahawks Twitter. The criticism that he gets is just, completely unfair and unreal, and people who want to go at his record is Justin Herbert's a franchise quarterback, right? He's 2 games above 500 in his career. It's a team game, team sports. It's like quoting quarterback wins is like quoting pitching wins in baseball. It's meaningless. It's a good team. It's got ways to go. And for everyone who says, well, let's tank, let's draft. Have you seen Seahawks Twitter? All of these guys are calling Spoon a bust, Byron Murphy a bust. They're calling all these picks a bust. So you trust John Schneider with a top 5 pick to draft the right quarterback? You already got a quarterback. You got a good one. Is he great? I think so. Some others don't. But you got one you can win with. Nobody thought Jared Goff before going to the Lions was a franchise quarterback. But look what they put around him. Build the roster in the trenches, and you're going to be good.
Nelson, can I ask you a question here? It's a completely fair point. I don't disagree with you. A real question I'm asking you, because I get this all the time, and sometimes I'm not sure how to answer. If you just need to build around Gino, how do you build around Gino then?
Well, I would argue that they need to take a serious look at John Schneider. I don't know that he's shown enough that he's the right guy. You go over his, since 2015, you go over his drafts and all his moves. A lot of them really haven't panned out, and I'm watching the all 22 tape the next day on Twitter. There's accounts that post it, and I'm watching Spoon. Boy, what a terrible tackler! Byron Murphy's not making a difference at all. I'm watching these guys. I don't know. I sometimes wonder if they fired the wrong guy.
You don't think Byron Murphy is making a difference?
I think he's had a few games. Last game he was non-existent. Witherspoon's been awful. Tariq Woolen is if a running back comes near him and he needs to break off his receiver to go make a tackle, he's not even going to make an attempt. There's just so much wrong with this defense, and I don't know that John Schneider can fix it. And John Schneider, if you're going to do a rebuild, if you're going to go that route, John Schneider does not deserve to be the one to do that. That's a fact.
Why doesn't he deserve to be the one to do that, though? Okay, here's the thing. And let me just make it clear. This isn't me standing for anyone. I think John Schneider has had a lot of draft misses, but he's also had some solid picks. Your team has been mostly competitive. What I can't figure out is, okay, if John Schneider had a couple top 10s, what would his draft and what would his team look like? That's where I'm stumped because he's only had 2.
10. Cross was a top 10. Witherspoon
and
was
what's
a
wrong
top
with Cross? 10. He's your best offensive lineman this year.
Yeah, he's your best offensive lineman, but he's not even top 20 in all of offensive tackles and pass blocking.
Because why would he be top 20 when he's a third-year player? I don't think that Cross is a massive disappointment.
First-round pick. This isn't baseball. First-round picks, they're either making a difference within the first year or two, or they're not. This isn't baseball where 5 or 6, unless if you're a quarterback.
Yeah,
This isn't
no, Nelson, I
baseball where
totally
5 or
agree. I
6
don't disagree with you. I don't know if Charles Cross is where I'd point and be like, this is the failure.
I'm not blaming Cross. I'm
Yeah.
blaming Cross is the one offensive lineman who's been
That's what I'm saying.
solid. Yeah, but it's again, there's a lot wrong with this roster. You literally have a quarterback who's capable of 11, 12 wins a year, but you got a roster around him that's aside from DK and a couple other pieces here and there, there's just too many holes. Way too many.
Yeah, I hear you, Nelson. I don't disagree. I'm gonna hang up on you though. I gotta get to other callers, but thank you for being a loyal listener, calling in, man. Appreciate you. Let's get
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt because I wanted because I wanted him to say everything that he needed to say.
Okay.
No, it's fine. And Nelson, appreciate your call and your enthusiasm and whatnot. But goodness gracious, you lost some credibility with me when it comes to now. Your Gino love, I think, is merited. I think Gino has deserved that, but to sit there and say that you watched all 22 film and that Byron Murphy is not making a difference is absolutely crazy to me. This young man is the best interior defensive lineman, him and Cat, that this team has right now. To sit there and say Spoon is a bust. He's like the second or third person I've seen on the text line and heard say Spoon is a bust. Because he's not making those explosive plays, has the interception or whatnot, and has missed some tackles, does not make him a bust. The problem with people having access to all 22 sometimes, they don't know what the hell they're looking at. Ooh. You don't know. Someone had to teach me how to watch film when I was in high school. You don't know what you don't know. Think of your favorite defensive player of all time right now. He misses tackles. He doesn't make a play. It's just people are overreacting to things. Collectively, as a defense, they need to play better. Spoon can make some more plays. Byron Murphy is going to get better. Linebackers needs to get better. But just the overreaction of people and wanting to call someone a bust so quick is ridiculous to me. You don't know what you're looking at half of the time. And that means, and I'm not trying to disrespect fans and say they shouldn't be looking at the film or they shouldn't be trying to learn and figure out what's going on with this team. But the strong opinions that I'm seeing about Byron Murphy and Spoon's second year in the league, Byron Murphy's 5th game as a professional, it's crazy to me. There is development that happens. It's not baseball. You're not going to find a 28-year-old rookie out there. But no, you need reps. Reps on reps on reps. That's why Anthony Richardson is sitting his butt down. He needs to learn. You need reps. The instant satisfaction that some of these people want are crazy to me. Mike McDonald needs to develop his coaches. He needs to develop his players. Are they playing great? No. But stop with this. They're garbage. They can't play. He's a bust. No, he's not. Witherspoon will lock a side down, and because you don't know that he's locking a side down, in your mind, he's not making a play. Like, I'm so tired of people talking about Spoon. Spoon has made some mistakes. Everyone on that defense has made some mistakes. Stop calling that man a bust.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with your take with those two players in particular. I think this roster does have holes. I think they've had a talent acquisition issue. I think criticism of front office moves in many cases is fair. I think that I'm hitting pause on making overwhelming judgments yet, particularly with Schneider, simply because I have never seen Schneider run a front office and make personnel decisions by himself. We've never seen that.
No.
So I'm just kind of waiting to see what that looks like. And when you get a couple years into that, if you're like, hey, this team hasn't taken steps forward, man, you need to do something, then sure, we can have that conversation.
They need to get better.
We literally
can all agree on that.
Yeah.
They need to get better.
Yeah, no one's doubting that. Nelson's right with that one. Let's go to Tom in Oak Harbor. Tom, can the Seahawks win the NFC West?
Bob and Stacy, the best in sports talk radio. We are so blessed. Hey, I want to address two things. First, the tank issue, and I'm 100% on board with Stacy on that one because the best football game I ever attended in my life, and it's been a long one, many decades, is Beastquake. And the only reason there was a Beastquake was because of Always Compete, Pete Carroll, and winning the NFC West with Charlie Whitehurst, leading our way against the Rams, winning at 7-9, and giving us Beastquake, the best football game ever. Anyways, regarding whether they can win the NFC West, sure, anybody can win the NFC West. Now, if you play it on paper, it's doubtful because the defense, according to PFF's strength of schedule, is 32nd in the NFL. Gino, as quarterback, his strength of schedule he's facing the 26th hardest defense, passing-wise. It's going to be very, very difficult on paper, but we all know football is not played on paper. And we all know with DK Metcalf's injury that injuries play a huge impact. And so I would say this, if DK can get back relatively quickly after this week, anything can happen with all the teams knotted up. Injuries happen all the time. We've already seen what McCaffrey's had to deal with all season. We already saw Ayuk go out. Injuries happen, stuff happens, and when it's this close, it's anybody's game, whoever wants it the most. I love you for taking the call. You guys are the best.
Thanks for the call, Tom. Tom saying, look, they can. It doesn't feel likely, but I am so glad Tom mentioned Beastquake because so many people love that moment, one of their favorite moments in Seahawks history. That didn't come from a Super Bowl team.
Nah, that was 7-9 team.
Yeah, and you lost after. Yeah. You won that game. It was really great. Game. I remember watching that play, and so it's like think of all these amazing memories you have from teams that didn't end up winning it all. Now, ultimately, you want to win it all. That's the point. But you still have amazing memories from trying.
Yeah, and I think Tom is right. It's not likely that they win the division. I think that, but as of right now, with 3 teams at 4-4, 1 team at 3-4, that has to be your mentality. Is that you're in this fight and you could win this thing. But then you look at personnel. You look at the way Matthew Stafford played in one game with both his boys back. You look at the 49ers and them getting healthy. You see Kyler Murray over there doing his thing. Yeah, and then you look at the problems that you're having over here. That's why I said it's so important to win this game or to at least stop some of the bleeding that you're having with some aspects of your defense.
Yeah, and I don't think that Tom's point is saying, oh, settle for a wild card. Tom is saying, I will never look down my nose at a chance to get to the playoffs, ever.
Yeah.
So that I don't disagree with his point at all. Let's go to Sean, line 3. Sean, can the Seahawks win the West?
They can, but they won't unless they address the run issues on both sides of the ball.
Fair.
And I think that starts with kind of what Kat said the other day was it all starts with execution. I mean, and 2 callers ago, the guy was talking about Spoon being a bust. I mean, that all trickles in together. When Kat was saying that they're focusing on too much stuff, you don't think those cornerbacks are doing the same thing when they know teams are running the balls down their throats? They have to pay more attention to that run game, which frees up their attention to the passing game. So I think they absolutely can. They got the weapons. They got the roster to do it, barring injuries, but they won't unless they start executing run on both sides of the ball.
Thanks for the call, Sean Bump. Sean said, look, I don't think they will unless they address run issues on both sides of the ball. Do they have the pieces right now to at least attempt to do that, or do you think that before Tuesday's deadline they should make another move?
They have enough to play better than they have been playing. I think if they were not to make a move and address the defensive line, linebackers, whatever the heck, to help with the run on both sides of the football, they can still get better. But I think that and here's the hard part is you don't even know what's out there. You don't know what linebacker is available for trade or teams we're talking to, what defensive linemen are available. You don't really know what's out there, and then you don't necessarily know what Mike McDonald is looking for. They can get better with the guys that they have. And how do you get better? With commitment to technique, to your responsibilities, and these coaches getting on them and holding them accountable. I remember I forgot what player said, after a loss, Mike McDonald is in the meet room hollering and screaming at guys. Maybe it's time. Every now and then, like even with my kids, I'm not a screamer or a hollerer, but every now and then I raise my voice and switch it up on them, and they tighten up a little bit. Maybe that's what Mike McDonald needs to do.
Let's go to David calling from Spokane. David, can the Seahawks win the NFC West?
I think so. I just think that a lot of people are overreacting right now. I think we have to have less expectation during the offseason because it's starting to feel like a Ben Simmons workout video. I really think that if we have more continuity, I think the plays keep coming along. Because to be fair, Mike McDonald's scheme is probably the hardest defensive scheme in the league. And I think we definitely do have the pieces. Our depth is showing a little bit here and there with them small flashes we do have, especially last week with that pick from Jovi. I just think we should calm down a little bit, take it step by step. And Kyle Shanahan was like 6-10 his first season with San Francisco, and look where he's at now. So I think if we just relax a little bit here and there, and I think we just wait. I think if we just wait, I think everything's going to come out pretty good. I think people are overreacting a little bit here.
You know what I appreciate about everybody, this caller, Nelson, Tom, this is where everyone can agree. There are strong opinions because everybody wants to win right now. Everybody is dying to win. But you got to learn how to win. And learning how to win means taking some lumps along the way and figuring some things out and getting to know your personnel a bit more and having that personnel learn your defense and then making some adjustments. Winning just doesn't happen, especially when you've had the same guy leading the charge for so long and now you're switching it up. That's the thing is everyone who cares about this team wants to win, but no one really knows the process on how to win. And Mike McDonald has his process, and he was hired for a reason. So I think, just like this caller said, everyone got to pump the brakes a little bit, be frustrated. I'm frustrated when they lose. I see the mistakes that they're making, but I also understand that winning takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Let's go to Zach in Olympia. Zach, can the Seahawks win the NFC West?
I think they can, but I just don't think they will.
Okay.
I just don't think we're playing with the mojo that the Rams and the 49ers are. The Rams and the 49ers just look a little bit more in sync. And let me just one thing before I keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's calling for Mike McDonald's job at 4-4. Is anyone calling for Kyle Shanahan's job at 4-4 or Sean McVay? I don't think so, but I don't like that conversation at all. We need to get rid of that. But again, I just don't think we have all the players on the roster. We're missing O-line talent. We don't have like a solid rock on DL. I mean, like, again, Jerry Reed's a fantastic player, Leonard Williams, all of them. But I just don't think we have like the solid rock that we need. I heard about Puna Ford doing good in San Diego, and that kind of bums me out because I do think we could have retained him. But again, I think Gino's good enough to get us to the playoffs. I really do, and help us win the division. But I'm also just worried about him a little bit, that he just might not have like the game-changing ability to just get us over the top. He needs good surrounding cast, and I just don't think we're giving him the support that he needs to excel. And, I look at the 49ers and I look at the Rams. They just look a little more in sync. And if we were playing cleaner, had a little bit more momentum, I would say that we could win the West. But at this point, I just am a little worried.
Thanks for the call, Zach. Okay, so Zach says lots of things, but he said, I'd love for them to, but I don't think they will. The Rams have more talent, consistency. He also said, look, the Rams and 49ers just playing with a little more mojo. They just got something in their step. Do you see that, and why?
Yeah, the Rams, they do. It's established. Sean McVay established. Kyle Shanahan established. He knows what works for his system, what type of player he needs. Why do you think he found a Puka Nacua, right? Kyle Shanahan knows what works for his system. Who would you say in the NFC has had the biggest turnaround the last 2-3 years?
Lions.
Probably the Lions, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is my question to Seattle fans. Are you prepared? I'm not saying this is going to happen, but are you willing to sit through 3-13? Are you willing to sit through 9-8 to get to 12-5?
Think about that life.
Like, are you willing to do that? Because that's a perfect example over there in Detroit. It took time, and look where he's at now. Mike McDonald and John Schneider have to do a lot of things right to go down that path. But there's an example of a team for 50 years is irrelevant. No one thinks about the Niners, but you have to be willing to sit through some hard times to get to that promised land.
All right. Thank you to all of our callers. I'm so sorry that I could not get to everyone. We are going to have, instead of what I need to know, some sound from Mike McDonald just because of that breaking news with DK Metcalf being out. We want to have you guys be able to check in and listen live to the head coach to see what's up and what's going on there with some of those injuries. So that's coming up at 1:45. Coming your way next, it's Rams. Don't go anywhere.
The Seahawks have a chance to get back on track as Sean McVay's Rams head to town.
It's Joe, goes the other way. Josh Allen coughs it up for the first time this season.
At the halfway point of the season, the NFC West is still up for grabs.
Turns upfield, first down, got more. That is what we've been waiting for out of Ken Walker.
Hawks, Rams, kickoff 125, pregame coverage starting at 10 on your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Text the word BOOST to 65555 to book your free T check. They have helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Text the word BOOST to 65555. That's BOOST to 65555. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used in ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 31st, get thrillifyingly fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and autopay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply, currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. Majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, you know, we've tried to shake.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy. Seahawks Insider, brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
We've heard a lot about how execution and discipline are the issues with some of the Seahawks' struggles to defend the run. It seems so simple to say everyone needs to just do their job. And while defensive tackle Leonard Williams is confident they can fix this, he explains how easy it is to fall into the trap of doing too much, even as a 9-year vet.
Like, say my gap is the B gap, and I feel like they're zoning to the right, but trying to cut back every time. So instead of me just staying in my B gap, because I feel like they've been running it on us, now I'm going to try to play the B gap and the A gap instead of just dominating the B gap. I'm now trying to do two things at once. And I think sometimes things like that start to happen once you kind of have the stress of things happening over and over. I think it's just more about us getting back to the basics, trusting our teammate that they're going to do their job, and everyone keep it rolling.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months with equal payments or 40% off qualifying installs. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com.
Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. Create your dream engagement ring and browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts, from diamond studs, tennis bracelets, birthstone necklaces, and more. With our everyday competitive prices, an unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company knows how to work with your budget, not against it. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Summer's over and you've had your fun, but now it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you that's possible. We want to be your teammate. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs. Just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and keep it off for the long term. We know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
I really appreciated how fast the program works. I lost 35 pounds in 8 weeks. I think I dropped 20 in just the first 3. It's pretty incredible. And in terms of the healthiness, yeah, it's real food that you're buying at the grocery store.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can start our program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Rams.
Okay, that one I thought it might have one more. It is Rams.
Always keep you on your toes, Stacey.
Curtis and Bump face off in a weekly trivia contest that changes its name every single week based on the Seahawks opponent. This Sunday, it's going to be the LA Rams coming to town for a divisional matchup. Can the Seahawks enter the bye with a winning record and a must-needed win? Avoid losing 5 of 6. I don't know. Let's learn a bit more about these two teams, the history between them, and a little bit more about the Rams. Bump's going to get us started. 4 questions apiece, and then we'll get to a tiebreaker if needed. Bump, your first one is multiple choice.
Perfect.
If you don't need multiple choice, feel free to just answer it, okay?
All right.
Who is the Rams' leading receiver this season?
Tutu Atwell.
Yes. First point to Bump. Do you want double or nothing?
Negative.
Okay, your double or nothing question would have been Tutu was taken in the same draft as which other former Seahawks receiver?
DK?
D. Eskridge.
Oh,
wow,
D.
you would have lost it all.
Yeah.
Lost it all.
So I didn't do that.
Curtis, Gino Smith needs one more 300-yard passing game to tie which former Seahawks quarterback for second place most 300-yard passing games in a single season?
In a single season?
Single season.
I'm going to say he is on the verge of tying Matthew Hasselbeck.
That is correct. Do you want to go double or nothing?
No.
Your double or nothing question was actually pretty easy. Who has the most 300-yard passing games in a single season for the Seahawks?
Wow.
It's Russell Wilson.
It's Russell
Wow.
Wilson. Good job, Curtis.
I would have been so mad at you for that, Stacey.
I was secretly hoping Curtis wouldn't ask me for double or nothing. This one was hard. Do you know how many times I've come up with a Rams game?
Yeah, that's tough.
This is like my 7th Rams trivia game. Okay. Bump. Yours is actually pretty easy, too. So, between Matthew Stafford, Gino Smith, Sean McVay, and Mike McDonald, 2 of these 4 went to the same college. Which 2 are they?
Say the names again.
Both quarterbacks, both coaches. Matthew Stafford, Gino Smith, Sean McVay, Mike McDonald. 2 went to the same college.
Stafford and McDonald.
Yes. Would you like...
Negative. Ghost Rider.
Okay. Your double or nothing would have been... actually tough. After he was a student, Mike McDonald joined Georgia's coaching staff as a graduate assistant in 2010 all the way through 2013. Do you remember who was quarterback during that era of Georgia football?
2013.
It would have been 2010, 11, 12, 13.
So Stafford was already in the league.
Yeah.
So it was before Stafford.
After Stafford.
I'm sorry. Is it from?
Was it Aaron Murray?
Aaron Murray. Remember him?
Would not. Nope. Don't
Okay.
remember him.
Curtis, a chance to tie it up here. The Seahawks have struggled to get interceptions this year. They have 5 as a team. Who got each of them?
Reek Woolen, Julian Love, Josh Jobe. That's 3. Witherspoon, I don't think has one yet. Is Rayshon Jenkins one of them?
No, incorrect.
No.
Rayshon had a fumble recovery for a
Yeah.
touchdown. The one you're looking for is Kobe Bryant.
Kobe.
And your double or nothing, you are now ineligible for, but would have been Josh Jobe had the most recent interception, obviously breaking Josh Allen's record, or streak, I should say. Who had the first of the season?
Reek Woolen.
Julian
Love.
Julian had the first of the season. Reek Woolen had the last interception in the game to kind of seal the win.
And that was the last one for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Reek had the last for a while. Bump, your question here reminds me of like when someone asked me what I had for dinner last night and I have to think about it. Who scored the most recent Seahawks touchdown?
Whoa.
So they
I
lost
never have these kinds of
31
questions.
to
They're so
10
sneaky.
last week. Field goal. Wow.
Right?
That is a good one.
And then people, obviously it's. But it's so hard. It's like when someone says, what'd you have for dinner last night? And you just think about it.
Charbonnet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet, 1-yard touchdown.
That was tougher than it should be.
Do you want to go double or nothing?
Heck no.
Your double or nothing question would have been, who scored the first touchdown of the season for the Seahawks?
Ooh, wait,
Do you
Ken
remember?
Walker.
Gino rushing that
Right. Oh, when he
34-yard
hit it with
rushing
the
touchdown
height.
when they were doing nothing against the Broncos, and we were like, hey, what are you guys going to do? And then
Yeah.
Gino busts, a run, 34 yards, gets the touchdown. Okay.
You put that point down.
Yeah, you
there.
get a point.
3-1.
Curtis.
This is my third question. now.
Curtis, you need this. Kyron Williams has a touchdown for the Rams in every game this season, which is cool because he was a 5th-round pick. So, like, power to you. Who's the lowest drafted Seahawk to get a touchdown for the team this year?
The lowest drafted Seahawk to get a touchdown this year. Has anybody undrafted gotten a touchdown? I'm going to say it was the guy who I missed on the last answer. I think it's Rayshon Jenkins.
Oh, I'm going to skip to make it easy. Offensive players. Not a trick question.
Okay, so offensive player?
Yeah, offense
the
or
lowest
or
drafted
special teams.
offensive
Yeah,
player?
so take off defense.
Okay. Well, so no special teams either. I can't pick Laviska Shenault.
If that's your answer, I'm including special teams.
Oh, okay.
But
He was a
it's-
second rounder.
Yeah, I should have clarified. Not tricking you with defense here.
I'm going to say, I think is it Tyler Lockett, a 3rd-round pick?
I almost fooled myself when I was doing this one and thought it was Tyler Lockett, and then I did filter by touchdown, and I realized that little rookie tight end AJ Barner going in there in the 4th round. Your double or
Darn.
nothing question would have been, which school was AJ drafted
Michigan.
out of this year? You would have gotten it correct.
I would have been hella mad at that one.
Bump.
So if Bump gets this
You
right, he
seal
wins.
the win. In Sean McVay's first year as head coach, the 2017 season, the Rams made the playoffs and lost in the wild card to the Falcons. An NFC team did end up winning the Super Bowl that year. Curtis is going to know this. Do you remember who it was?
In 2017.
2017 season.
NFC team ended up
NFC
winning.
team won the Super Bowl.
The last NFC teams to win. The Niners have been there. Had one. Rams. We're not talking Rams. Oh, I know this.
Uh-oh.
Tampa Bay won in 2020.
Okay, next answer you say out loud, I'm counting as your answer.
Okay. I'm going to go with. Oh, I should know this.
Shame on you. I'm disappointed. Curtis, do you know
10
it?
seconds, yes.
Oh, Philly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bump,
You won.
got it.
You won.
Okay.
Bumper-
Your
Bumper
double or
won.
nothing question would have been, In the Rams' last Super Bowl, I mean, you could go double or nothing. And just run up the score.
Or get no points and leave the door open for me.
Nah, heck no.
Okay.
What? How you over here trying to manipulate the rules right now? Heck
Okay,
no.
We're not
So Bump is
manipulating. We're just saying
declining-
you could go
Declining
double or
the
nothing.
penalty.
No,
Declining the penalty.
heck
He's
no.
declining his double or nothing. Bump won. Your double or nothing question would have been in the Rams' last Super Bowl appearance, so that was the 2021 season. They did win. They beat the Bengals. 2 receivers in that Super Bowl had 2 touchdowns, 1 from each team. Who were they?
So, was Jamar even in the league?
I don't know.
Man.
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
I'm gonna go with I don't know, Jamar and Beckham.
It was Cooper Kupp and T. Higgins.
That's right, T.
See,
Higgins.
Curtis tried to trick you. I would never do that to you. I would never do that.
T. Higgins probably would have been Super Bowl MVP if the Bengals had won.
Yeah. Curtis, do you even want your last
Sure,
question?
yeah.
Okay. Jeff Fisher was Rams coach before Sean McVay. How many playoff games did his Rams appear in?
I'm going to say none.
None.
Wow.
You would have
He was
gotten
there
it
for
correct.
a long time,
Yeah.
too.
Your double or nothing was actually the hardest question of the bunch.
I love it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Jeff Fisher didn't appear in any playoff games as head coach of the Rams, but he did appear in a Super Bowl as head coach of the Titans in 1999. Which team did the Titans beat in the AFC Championship game to get to that Super Bowl against the Rams?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
You weirdo. Okay, unfortunately, you're out of this
Nuts.
Story about that season.
Yes.
The
Fun fact
Jags
for
lost 3 games that year, counting the playoff game. They went 14-2 and then lost in the AFC title game. They only lost to 1 team that year. The Titans were 3-0 against the Jags. They went undefeated against everybody else.
Can we do not the tiebreaker question? I don't really care anymore, but the tiebreaker round was a chime in with your name, and I just really love those. Ready?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Chime in with your name the second I finish this question. A ram is a male what?
Curtis.
Curtis.
Goat?
No, Bump.
No?
A
Stud.
ram is a male
Oh.
Stud.
Stud.
I don't know.
It's a sheep. Yeah.
Oh, I
that's
thought it
right.
was like a name for, like a, anyway.
Oh, well. Okay, so
We're not big into animals
we would
around
normally
here.
get to what I need to know, but because we did have some breaking news earlier that DK Metcalf will not be playing this Sunday against the Rams. Congratulations on Bump for winning Rams. We're going to hear instead from Mike McDonald's press conference. We'll take you there live next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
The thing the Seahawks are doing, Dave, you can vote on the top 50 players in Seahawks history, and then we're getting a chance to speak to a man who I'm going to guess is going to be unanimous. I don't know how he got on the list. I mean, he is Seahawks royalty, and Steve Large is here. This would be a very cool honor as well, I would assume, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime people want to recognize you and your career after I've been out of football for about 30-some years or 40 years, whatever it is, that always makes you feel good.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, this is Stacey Rost, and if you're looking for top-notch service for your plumbing, heating, and air needs, look no further than Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. For over 25 years, Ben's has been providing 5-star service to our community. Their team of experienced professionals are dedicated to making sure you get the best service possible. That means no pressure, no gimmicks, just honest, reliable work. From routine maintenance to emergency repairs, Ben's has got you covered. And with their no-pressure sales approach, you can rest easy, knowing you're only getting the services you actually need without unnecessary upsells. So whether it's a leaky faucet, a broken heater, or an AC on the fritz, trust the experts with over a quarter-century of excellence. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air today at 206-789-5353 or benz.plumbing. Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where 5-star service meets no-pressure sales.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
An airliner heads for Alaska with 101 passengers and crew. Then, somewhere over the Gulf of Alaska, Flight 293 slams into the icy waters below.
Even if all 4 engines quit, it just doesn't fall out of the sky.
No bodies were recovered. Loved ones had no closure and were left to wonder.
What happened to Flight 293?
Unsolved Histories, What Happened to Flight 293 is available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers who chunk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months with equal payments or 40% off qualifying installs. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com.
All right, guys, you're looking for a fun night out. It's Mike Salk here to remind you that Snoqualmie Casino is just the place to go, unwind, and have some fun, and to eat some great food. Make sure to check out 12 Moons. And then Vista Prime Steaks and Seafood has the amazing happy hour menu that starts at 4 p.m. And Falls Buffet, they're serving up all your favorites like the prime rib every day, the fresh pasta, made-to-order stir-fry, noodles, pizza, salad bar, dessert bar. They make their pies every day. All with breathtaking views of the Snoqualmie Valley and Mount Si. It is Seattle's closest, only 30 minutes from downtown, Snoqualmie Casino. Please game responsibly.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Keep your business connected with Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi backup. Or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Mike McDonald speaking with reporters right now. Let's hear the latest, including an update on DK Metcalf.
All right, good to see everybody. Just told the guys it's great 3 days. I'm assuming the injury questions are coming, so I'll hit those now. We listed DK as out. We've been talking about it for the whole time now, but just needs more time. So it's nothing that he could have done differently. It's just we just need more time for him. So that's what's best for him and the team. I think EJ was out today with a neck. It's just stiffened up on him. So we'll take that day by day. But we're just took care of him today. And then Noah hurt his groin in practice on Wednesday, I believe. So he's going to need some time. So he'll be out this week.
With DK, was there a setback or anything, or is it just taking?
No, it just needs time. Just needs time. And, guys that are stepping in will be ready to roll.
George Fant wasn't on the report. Is he going to be playing in this game?
He's full, all the necessary transactions, O-line wise, rest of the team, we're going to make those tomorrow, and then we'll be ready to roll.
Mike, you talked about consistency, that being key. Did you get the consistency in practice this week that you needed to see?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, we're still working, but I'll tell you what, the guys really had a great week of prep, and this is fun. It was a fun 3 days of us getting after it, executing, playing fast. Inside 2 days, so but all good. I think it was a great week.
How did George look coming back, Mike?
George looks good. George looks really good.
Is your anticipation that Metcalf comes back after the bye?
I mean, I would say that's a fairly yes. But again, with these things, it's we said week to week from the get-go. I think that's where we're at this point. So I think it's fair to say we're taking it week by week at this point. I think it's kind of a fair assessment.
With no out, what are you looking for from the rest of those tight ends?
Keep doing the things that they've been doing. Again, both two guys had a great day, and then Brady Russell, if and when, is a guy that's done a lot of great things throughout the year. He knows both positions, so ways to fill that spot in. I mean, we're going to miss Noah, but and we hope he gets better soon. But excited, just for the other guys as well.
Yep. Are you better prepared this week to handle that, because it has been a little bit of consistency with the guys on the field the last 2 weeks?
I think that's a fair statement. Just having an extra week, kind of like when you have, if you just at any position group, if you're able to have some consistency, being able to bank some of those reps, how we're going to game plan it, that sort of thing. It was still one of those deals where we still weren't sure throughout the week. So now that it's clear on how we're going to operate, then that's why we decided to just list them out right now.
In terms of consistency and banking reps, what do you see from the right offensive line there? Just Jarrell, and also now they've got 3 games going in.
Well, I think we're confident in what they've been doing. I think if you look at the last 2 games, just specifically watching those 2 guys, it just felt like the AB is coming along. We're going to keep pushing, and Mike Jarrell's been able to fill in and help us win a game. And just like with everybody else last game, we fell short in that regard, but he's really working his tail off, and I think he's playing some pretty good football.
How was Abe's second quarter?
It's good. It's good. I mean, I don't want to say like on schedule, because the schedule is let's keep progressing, and then we'll make a decision after the bye on where we're at. So he's gaining confidence. He's working hard, getting comfortable being uncomfortable to a certain extent, and that's where we're at right now.
I'm sure you want more run defense questions, but
keep them coming.
Has a pre-snap alignment at all been part of the issue, and if so, why would that be?
I don't think so. Not in the last few games. I would say that might have been a fair assessment, weeks 2 through 4 maybe, but not in the last few games.
Sorry to clarify, you said George is ready to go, right?
I said that if we're going to make a transaction, it'll happen tomorrow. That's pretty vague.
Mike, do you have
I was up front with the other 3 guys. Just like I said, I mean, if he's going to play, we'll make the transaction tomorrow. So,
do you have a sense yet for how significant Noah's injury is?
It's going to be some time. We don't anticipate him being on IR, but we're unsure his availability after the bye right now.
Do you still expect Uchenna Nwosu back later this year?
I do. I mean, again, it's not a hard and fast thing, but from our people and early initial assessments and where he's at in his progress, we're optimistic we'll get him back at some point.
Do you expect Rayshawn Jenkins to be available after his IR stint's up?
At some point, we'll expect Jenks to be back as well. Yep.
What's the issue with Kieran?
It's really been the same thing that's been bothering him with his knee, and it's just kind of a pain in the neck on his part. I feel bad for him. The guy's working extremely hard. He's getting better, but it's just won't go away.
You were, self-serving question, you were named Salute to Service nominee for the team. What do you get out of the military ethos or way of training that I know you've met and talked with, had the team meet with them? How does it correlate with
the first thing is just respect for our men and women in the armed services. My dad being, I've been around that world for a long time. My dad being a West Point grad, a lot of my family. I mean, my aunt was in town this past week. She was a nurse in Vietnam. Met her husband in Vietnam. My other two aunts were nurses in the military as well. So just an immense respect for those people and protecting our country and putting their lives on the line. And then, I mean, this is the top of the top in terms of, teams operating at a really high level. A lot of takeaways that our team can learn from that I feel are valuable that, to apply to our world. We're not in war in any stretch of the matter, but there are a lot of parallels in what it takes to be successful. And I think our guys realize that it's not a, I think it just starts from like a spot of respect for those people.
Military people that you meet with, do you have them talk to the team to address the team?
Sometimes, yeah. And sometimes it's really valuable. And we're looking for all things that are going to help us get better. And I think if you're bringing in top people that can help us and kind of compare worlds and let us understand where, what it takes to be the team that we want to be, we're always going to do those things. It just so happens that, these are some awesome people that, because of, what we do on a day in, day out basis and the platform that we have, I mean, you have some really, really cool opportunities to meet some special people. So it's definitely a blessing for our whole team.
How do well-paid athletes relate to military people?
Some better than others. I think once you start to see the interaction between the guys, it's just like anything. You start developing a relationship, and you start realizing, hey, at the end of the day, we're a lot more alike than we are different. Really, I mean, it's a statement for the whole world right now. But it's pretty cool to see that evolve. From over the course of a day or a week or since the time that we've been here.
Does it help in your process when your players can kind of see the bigger picture, even what other high efficient teams can do from almost a global perspective, but from a 60,000?
Yeah, it's so easy to get in. I mean, just to get into the day in, day out, just focusing on the schematics and the X's and O's. It's like we're a bigger purpose here of what we're trying to build as a team, and we got big goals and high standards, and when you see people doing it outside of our world and our bubble that we live in on a day in, day out basis, I just think one, it's just good for the guys just to see what else is out there throughout the world and understand what it takes for the people that protect us on a daily basis.